back to the bottom, 6 to go.
Makes a mistake again. He missed a shift. He's going to spin to the inside turn. He's going to take the lead.
Eli Hinton just got used up there in the hairpin. He's going to pick up a win after a long winless streak and visit victory lane. And the whole field just needs to get himself slowed down, hop these curves up and over. There's that cannon running a tad wide. Great restart here for the 2 car, but also for the 48. He crosses him over. Down into turn 1, there goes the tail. Here comes the 20 alongside. The 13 car gets turned. He's going to spin in turn 2.
When you're trying to win a championship, the last thing you want to hear is the word uncertainty. But that's Talladega Superspeedway for you. Welcome to the HostVenom Fuel Cup Series, and it's time to go racing in the Fuel Finals. Finny, we're running out of time to get to the end of the season. Last week, Tim Silliman was eliminated from the Fuel Finals, and this week, Greg Evans and Don Runkle Jr. are the ones on the cutting block, and this week, it's pack drafting, it's crashes, it's everything that we saw on Saturday night with the Outsider Racing League, with about the same number of drivers. And uncertainty is something that drivers will have to avoid if they want to make it on to the next round of the Fuel Finals, but really it's just those 2 drivers that are worried about their future and moving on to next week.
Yeah, pretty much everyone else is pretty much good as far as getting cut off this week is concerned. It is pretty much between Evans and Runkle. Both are separated by 4 points each, but Evans is the one on the chopping block, so he's got to make sure he finishes ahead of Runkle.
Talladega Superspeedway, the largest oval on NASCAR's schedule, 2.66 miles around this 4-turn road course with that start-finish line highlighted in blue on the bottom right of that graphic. This place is just filled with history, all sorts of incredible history here at the Talladega Superspeedway. But tonight, the drivers are going to make their own. Qualifying is underway so far this evening, and Greg Evans is currently the one sitting on pole, Finian, and that's where he wants to be all night. But as we learned on the Friday and Saturday races last week, you're not safe even if you're out front.
Yeah, I would say with this package, you aren't really safe anywhere anymore, which is kind of a good thing. Makes it very exciting, although as a driver, it's extremely nerve-wracking not knowing when you can get involved in a big wreck and when it could take you out. But yeah, so these guys, you got to be careful. You got to be very mindful of what's going on because you could start, first, maybe 10th, but you're not going to be there in the same place in 3 laps time.
Absolutely, and Nick Cohen has come back for this week in that number 21 Toyota Camry, and possibly to help out teammates and see how that goes. But familiar faces up front. How about Paul Pepper sitting in 3rd? We haven't seen him up at the top of the board lately, and he jumps to 3rd. Scott Eckridge in 4th, Jeff Ward 5th. But Finian, the other thing we have to talk about is the new drafting package here for these Cup cars this season. We saw it with the Outsider Racing League back a couple months ago. The old package was extremely difficult to pass, but the new one, it's extremely difficult to make it to the end of the race with how crazy the drafting is now.
I would say it's extremely difficult not to pass because you can suck up to another car so easily you barely have to put in any throttle input, which is the exact opposite of the old package where you had to be on the throttle the entire time to make sure you didn't lose the pack. But yeah, there's a very different package compared to what came previously, and a lot of these drivers definitely love it. It gives you a lot more movability and just makes the racing a lot more exciting.
Qualifying complete here, 94 laps around Talladega Superspeedway. And Finian, that's not a short race. Now, it is shorter than the Outsider race here on Saturday night, which took about 2 hours from start to finish to complete. About 1 hour and 20 minutes this time around. So a very similar setup to last Saturday. But we saw one of the best races we've ever had on SimTV then. We'll see if these guys can match that here tonight as the field grids up and gets ready to go racing in the Fuel Finals at Talladega. Only a couple rounds remaining here, Finian. We're getting down to the nitty-gritty. I think Scott Eckridge has firmly established himself as the championship winner, but Thomas Bresci in the 24, he's been awful fast lately. But Greg Evans, last year's champion, he won 9 of 17 races. This year, he's on the outside looking in, 4 points behind Don Runkle Jr., who won back at California, and all he's been doing since that California victory is staying in the game. In that Mission 22 Toyota Camry, that's all he has to do tonight, Finian, is finish ahead of that 46, which, honestly, I'm liking Runkle's chances to continue his climb up the standings.
Yeah, honestly, this is a great track to really just kind of end up ahead of someone, especially if you only need a few points. It's always considered the great equalizer, the two super speedways, Talladega and Daytona. So, yeah, these guys are gonna definitely. Runkle's been eyeing this on the calendar here, and this could be a big night. Although, again, he's still not completely clear yet. He's also got to worry about next week. He can't just completely throw away his chances. So he's got to make sure he finishes well tonight to try to keep on moving up through the playoffs.
And I should mention now, before we kind of get into the nitty-gritty tonight, that tonight's race is going to be the final broadcast this week by us. So what's going to happen is Finian's going away for a couple days, and I am also going away. I'm driving out to Gingerman Raceway to commentate for the Grid Live Touring Cup with our third man, Jarrett Mackey, out in Michigan. So I'll be heading out on Thursday morning, and meeting up and camping and having a blast out there. I'll be making some vlog content, so you will see other videos other than streaming starting on Friday evening. You'll probably get 2 or 3 of those travel vlog sort of videos. I think that'd be kind of fun just to try out and see how people like that. So that's coming up this weekend, but you're going to have a couple boys over from the Scars camp. Bobby Elder and Brian Newton and a couple of their crew are going to be taking over our channel for a couple days. They will be streaming the Friday night Virtual Racing League broadcast from Dover, as well as the Saturday night Outsider Racing League and Sunday's Eldora race for the 3-wide Ginzer Truck Series. So that's what's coming up this week. Nothing until that Friday day, and then they'll, of course, be streaming for us for 3 days, and then at least I'll be back on Monday. I don't know what your plans are, Fan.
I'm going to be gone Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, sadly.
Okay, so I have some work to do, finding some people. So, but that's what's going on. So we're not going to be around this weekend, but please come and show Brian and their whole crew the Sim TV love that you guys have all spread around, and we got about 20 people watching, so make sure you come out here and see something a little different. Graphics will all be the same, everything will be the same, just a different group of commentators in the booth. And we'll see you on Friday night at 10:30 p.m. for the Virtual Racing League race. So your starting lineup is scrolling around the bottom of your screen, and Don Runkle is starting about mid-pack in that 00. And the other driver that's on the chopping block, Greg Evans, starting from pole. So a good effort by that 46, but we know that it's a long night tonight, and you don't determine your own fate. A little bit of luck and a lot of action coming up ahead.
Yeah, and also a big thing, too, to consider is that these guys do have halfway points awarded to them, halfway bonus points awarded to them. Typically the same points for the stage, and that's going to make things very exciting at around, lap 47. So we're going to have to keep an eye on that, because you're going to see a lot of guys jumping around for his position, trying to get some spots. And we've seen that in 3-wide, too, at the Super Speedway races, that they had a few wrecks towards where they get the points for finishing the top 10.
Yeah, so halfway points are important, and I would say that could determine who moves on and who stays, and who gets thrown back to the wolves, so to speak, in the point standing situation the next couple of races. So rolling out of turn 4, 94 laps on the board tonight. We saw an incredible race here on Saturday. We expect much of the same here tonight with the Fuel HostVenom Cup Series. Chevys, Toyotas, I think there's might be a Ford or two in there, maybe not, but
yeah, there's a few.
Okay, well, that's good. We got some diversity this time through, but that is your starting lineup along the bottom of your screen. Coming back to the green flag for 94 laps in the Fuel Finals. Only a couple rounds remain. Who goes home, who moves on in the race to the championship? Talladega, a place of luck, a place of victory. Green flag flies, racing in Talladega.
Ooh, and Scott Ackridge already with a great run. He's going to make it 3-wide already at the start as I head off into turn 1.
And that 27 middle of that 3-wide situation, there's Thomas George sitting right behind, but we've seen 3-wide. We saw some 4-wide on Saturday. We expect a lot of that here tonight as well. About a pretty similar field size, too. We're not even really lacking any people that we had on Saturday. So pretty similar there, but already some duking and diving, some jockeying down the back straightaway. Here comes Paul Pepper on the outside lane. No help up there, though. DeBarro slid back, but how about Jeff Ward jumping up to the high side to help that 3-car?
Yeah, and Woody Mahan out there on the high side all alone while everyone else is in the middle and the low lane.
Drivers on lit up in yellow on the ticker. They are your Fuel Finals contestants, and most of them are right up at the front right now.
Yep, and there you see Paul Pepper. He's going to lead the first lap. Then Jeff Ford second. Greg Evans, he's going to drop back to third again. Doesn't really have to worry about too much. Honestly, for him, I think the name of the game is just going to be trying to stay in that top 5.
3-wide mid-pack there. That's the 56. And Norm Pelletier, he's middle 3-wide. And now that's Brandon Minto on the outside lane. Couple lanes forming. The inside looks like the strongest one right now. But look at Greg Evans popping out of line. It looked like we're going to try 4-wide for a second, but they're not. They're still 3.
Oh, and Don Runkle's slow on the apron. Looks like he's dropping back, although I think he's about to lose the draft. He's dropping so far back.
Well, I would say that a caution is almost guaranteed at some point tonight, Finian. So as long as you can stay on the lead lap, there's the 62 of John Wilco. Maybe going to team up with him and stay out of the trouble as we make our way to complete lap number 2. Paul Pepper stays in the lead. Pelletier up to 7th right behind Scott Eckrich, but 2 by 2 they run. The 26 of Jaron Matthew. Good looking scheme on that car this week, right in front of Evan Adams in the 59. Greg Evans in control of this race now. The 3 car drops to the inside to try to get up alongside the 27 of DeBarro as we work through turns 1 and 2. 24, Bresci, he pops out of line. He's going to follow the back here as well. I like this idea, Finian, but the problem is the more people that drop out, the less people that are up here and to cause a wreck. So there is some risk there, but looks like Bresci is going to probably just drop to the tail of the pack and not all the way out of it.
Yeah, I think he's trying to actually drop back to his teammate Tyler Hensley. They're going to try to form up and keep each other in check.
46 of Evans leads this race, help from DeBarro. There's Norm Pelletier in that 56, a strong run for him so far. Started 8th, he's up to 4th. And pushing forward, Thomas George jumps in the outside lane behind Brandon Minto. And Woody Mahan goes middle. Whoa, the 93 of McQuistion's there, though. He tried to slot into the inside, couldn't quite fit.
Yeah, and you see Mahan, he's trying to move forward here, but just can't find a lane at the moment.
That's the risk, is that you try to fit in a hole that might be closing, and if you don't get there in time, you're going to go spinning off the bumper. We saw that a few times on Saturday. I see the background. Don Runkle has found John Wilco, and they're back in the field here right behind John Rodden, so they're kind of at a good spot, I think.
Yeah, they're at the tail end of this long line that's just of drivers just kind of hanging out here, just trying to run out the laps. And just, be cautious. But yeah, as you're saying, talking about the runs closing in, these guys are build up such good runs that by the time you get there, someone might not realize you're already there. And actually, for the front here, there's Paul Pepper going outside, battle for the lead.
Yeah, Jeff Ward giving a big shove to the rear of that 3 car of Pepper. And now the 89 jumps to the outside lane. Pepper slides up to collect him again, but here comes DeBarro at the middle and tries to fit in that hole, but that wasn't a hole there. He's still trying to fit.
Yeah, that's what we were talking about there. Trying to throw it out the middle. He's still going there. No one is stopping him. The hole is open, and it's 3 wide for the lead.
Wow, look at that. Here comes DeBarro up the middle. Let's ride on board the gyro cam on the 56 of Norm Pelletier. 3 wide in front of him. A bobble by the 3 car mid-corner.
Yeah, and it looks like Ward and Pepper are still trying to working on that outside lane, although I got to imagine the 89 is starting to get just a little bit hot.
You have to worry about those temperatures. Oh, the 27 slots in the inside lane now. We're right in front of the 93 of McQuistion.
And here comes Cody Tabor in the 15 having a good run. He's going to find himself at the line in 7th. So good run for the 15 car.
Lots of banking here at Talladega. You see the gyro cam turning and tilting as we get through turns 1 and 2. And that outside lane now with the momentum. And now I think that's... there's a white car popping out of line there. I think that's Cody Tabor in the 15.
Yeah, it looks like he's just trying to hang out with these guys, not necessarily get involved, and he's going to, I think, drop to the back behind Minto.
Ada Woody Mahan's going to charge through in this group as well. He started 11th. He's up to 5th right now, going for 4th. And trying to push that outside lane forward. We saw this so much this week that the outside and inside lanes were pretty much even. Neither of them had an advantage, which is different than most plate races in the past. Usually the inside or the outside was the way to go. But here tonight, they're pretty much equal. It just depends on how hard you're pushing.
Yeah, so far very calm up towards the front of the field. Probably the calmest we've seen out of the 3 Talladega races we've had.
Yeah, this has been Talladega week here on Sim TV. Lots of those races, and I think.
Fun thing now that I mentioned, I was looking at the schedule. Next week is Dover week.
Oh,
Friday,
really?
Saturday, and Tuesday, and Monday for the 3 Wide Cup Series, all at Dover.
Hey, well, that's it's kind of funny everything syncs up like that. There's a bad joke in there somewhere about syncing up, but we're not going to go there. All right.
Speaking of syncing up, setup syncs down.
Oh, well, it's been down forever. That website is all over the place. But there's the 26 of Jared Matthew to the outside of Norm Pelletier. He's drafting up. You see the run he gets, the suck up from the back of the 25 of Brandon Minto, who's in 5th right now. And that 26 just gets another 5 to 10 miles an hour. 197 into turn 1 for him. 192 for the 56 we were riding on board with there for a moment. So 8 laps in, and we saw about the fuel run, Finian, last week. I think we were on 80% fuel load, and they were running about 20 to 25 laps. We expect something similar tonight. And these cars much less fuel efficient now with this new package and a lot more drag on these cars. There's John Rodden kind of hanging out in the back. And now in the past, Finian, you were at the tail of the field, you would lose that draft with the way the drafting package worked. But right now, he's probably in the best spot of anybody because he's got that entire pack of cars punching the hole through the air. And right now, he's just hanging on to the back of Gale Brooks in that 71.
Yeah, it's just amazing too how far back you can be to get up a run. You can really be back quite a bit, and then you can just suck up right back to someone. Again, not like how it used to be.
You know what's funny, Finian, is, you know, Talladega is a track that in the past people have said that you need more luck than you need skill here. And while that might still be true, if you look at our top 5, top 6 cars, well, there's pretty much all the drivers that have been in the hunt for the points and the championship this season. Eckridge is up there, the 27 to DeBarro, the 89 to Jeff Ward, Greg Evans is there as well. A very, very strong front pack here.
Yeah, I don't know really if it's been the package or just a general shift over the years of guys, you know, really the guys who know what they're doing at the super speedways really finding themselves up in the front. It's, like you said, just not dumb luck anymore.
So the pack, everybody's kind of settled out now. It looks like we're in a pretty calm race, but that's what we thought on Saturday too. And by the end, well, I think we only had 3 or 4 cautions on Saturday. I think it was 3. But at the end of the night, that's when things got crazy because there were so many cars left. We might see a similar situation this evening. The 25 of Minto getting a shove from Jared Matthew. We're right on board. Scott Eckridge gyro cam through turns 3 and 4. Again, that banking so tall that it's...
Whoa! Oh, Mahan, engine blown, and he's going spinning into to the wall, and caution is out here.
On his roof, spinning like a top Runkle, makes it through, but up on his lid, spinning around. What is going on with that car? And he'll come to rest. I think there might have been a couple other cars that got damaged here, Finian, but the 8 certainly got the worst of it.
Yeah, I saw Pelletier, he got involved, but he looks relatively unscathed.
Well, let's go back and take a look at this from a bunch of different angles. The 26 Jared Matthew looked like he got a piece of it. So, did he just blow his... Oh, yeah, just blew his engine. Minto had nowhere to go, and just a big stack up behind him. Minto gets turned. And the 56 of Pelletier and Michael Hurley got together, but... Other than that, relatively low car count involved in that collision.
Yeah, I think it also helped, too, that everyone, for most of the field, was single file at that point, so there was really only guys in the outside lane that had some trouble.
Here's a look from on board the 56 of Norm Pelletier. Caution 10 laps in. And you'll see that smoke start to stream from that orange car up in the high lane, and nothing, these guys can't see. They all start running into each other, they get turned, and then Pelletier gets hit from behind. And through the grass, up the banking, but no major damage for really anybody other than the 8 car.
Yeah, and it was funny, I was just about to say, you know, all it takes is one car to cause a big incident here or just bring out a caution, and that was pretty much that incident right there.
Well, you know what's funny is this is the first time in a really long time I've seen an engine actually blow at a plate race. And he just loses that power and ends up getting turned right here. And he's just trying to hold the wheel steady and have everyone get around him. But wow, what a ride Woody Mahan went on. Everyone did a great job. And how about Don Runkle Jr. making his way through this without a scratch? So important for him to make it through, because he's only 4 points ahead of Greg Evans. And as they run, Evans will be the one moving on and Runkle will be the one going home. But he sees this, jumps on the binders, look behind him, and John Wilco is on it as well. And the 56, wow, what a move by Runkle to get through that.
Ooh, and off of pit road, DeBarro, I think, just took a splash and go. He's off and away.
Paul Pepper, Greg Evans, Jeff Ward. In no particular order. Scott Eckridge still waiting on pit road. Here comes Runkle. Maybe going to go for some track position with that move. He's going to come out right alongside Scott Eckridge. So 10 laps in, we have our first caution of the night of 94 laps. And it was for really a 3-car incident between the 25, the 8, and the 26. Caution out here early. And I think everyone did about as good of a job as you could have done there, Finian. I don't really think you could have made that any smaller of an incident.
Yeah, I was just saying that happened fairly far up in the field. It happened in the second row on the outside. So yeah, that could have been a hell of a lot worse, but everyone was really on their toes and avoided the best you could. For the most part, I think everyone that had damage and all that is still running about. Some guys is getting damage fixed on pit road.
Yeah, so Jared Matthews' car looks pretty okay. Brandon Minto Yeah, his car's fine as well. Michael Hurley, he got pretty hard into the back of the 56 of Pelletier, and Pelletier probably won't be too affected. I think Hurley's going to be pretty off the pace with that nose damage on that car. But again, when you're running in behind people, and I'm trying to find someone who's running real close right now to get a good idea of this, so we'll ride on board the 93 of Travis McQuistion, and you're going to see, you know, once you get in behind, running behind the 15 car here, you can't see right in front of that 15. It's completely blocked off, so anything that happens directly in front of that 15 car might as well be a blind spot, and you cannot see. And I think there was just nothing that anyone behind could do. The best they could do is try to scramble to get out of the way, and that's how that car got turned around.
Yeah, I'm looking at pit road. Nick Callahan is on pit road, although, well, his car is, I should say. He himself is not in the car. And the pace car is actually just past the exit. Up, he jumps back in. There he goes.
Well,
so I'm not sure if he might have had something to do there, but I was kind of worried if he was not going to be able to get back out in time.
Well, he is leaving the pit lane, and here comes the pace car through the tri-oval, so he will stay on the lead lap as we've gotten our first caution of the night. So about 10 laps in, I mean, looking at the strong cars, I think Paul Pepper is the one standing out to me. He's probably one of the strongest cars in the field.
Yeah, he definitely looks like he's ready to go anywhere and be good anywhere. I think my eyes are definitely on that 89 of Jeff Ward, just these last few weeks in general, but especially tonight too, he's looking like he's pretty strong.
Yeah, probably should have won last week at Charlotte, but things didn't quite pan out there. There's Greg Evans again. He's running that inverted white scheme versus his normal green. How about John Wilco? We got to give John a lot of credit there because he was following John Runkle there in that accident. And typically, a lot of drivers are afraid to jump straight on the brakes when they see a wreck because they don't want to get hit from behind. Well, Wilco was following Runkle right on his bumper and slammed on his brakes, and neither of them made contact with each other, which is frankly very impressive. And I'm sure Runkle is very thankful as well that he'll get to continue and live to see another day. Although I'm sure Runkle was hoping that 46 got a piece of it, but Evans got through clean.
Yep, Evans got through clean and avoided it, but again, we still got a long race and a lot of laps left to go, so any number of these guys that's still running could easily be junked in out of the race. And speaking of which, we only got one retirement out of that wreck, and that is Woody Mahan, who we have to call it a night after getting that engine damage. So we got 23 cars left, all of which are in lead lap.
Nick Cohan back on pit lane again, but he'll leave the pits and stay on the lead lap once again. Tyler Hensley back down pit lane, but again, the cars that were involved up in the original collision, there was 3 cars. There was the 8, the 25, and the 26. The 25 and 26 are frankly just fine. The 32 got into the back of the 56, and he's got some significant damage. He's probably the worst damaged car left on the racetrack. Everyone else is in pretty good shape to continue moving forward here.
I think the worst, the guy who got the worst out of all that was the 32 of Mike Hurley. His nose is all banged up. You guys got some dents and scrapes on the nose. Tyler Dogger's nose is not looking as good, but I mean, it could be worse. But yeah, I think Hurley definitely is going to potentially lose the pack here. That's a lot of damage to the nose of that Ford Fusion.
Yeah, I have Evan Adams teammates with that 32, and that's a frustrating feeling when you got a teammate and they're in trouble and they got damage. I don't think those two will be able to work together very long. The 59's got some rear end damage as well. I think the front of that, or that damage belongs to the front of the 5 car, Finian. Fit those puzzle pieces together. Rhett McBride got into the 59 on the start, so those 2 cars have had contact with each other, and some drivers heading back down to pit lane as the lights go off the pace car. 1 lap to green here. So 10 laps in, we've had our first caution of the night. The caution's here about 5 to 7 minutes, depending on how many lap down cars we have. So there's our 1 to green, and we'll have, looks like, what is that, math-wise, 80 laps to go? Yes. We'll take the green flag. So DeBarro chooses the inside lane for the restart. Paul Pepper on the outside lane. Then it's Ward, Eckrich, Wilco, your top 5. And then it's Tyler Dulger in the 88. How about that new scheme on this week? And you mentioned Dulger has some damage as well. Slight damage. He should be okay. But that's a good-looking paint scheme on that car.
Yeah, hopefully we'll see continue to run to the front. But yeah, nice-looking Coca-Cola paint scheme.
Good to see some people running some special schemes, and that's been the case really the entire month of May with the patriotic schemes. And, of course, Don Ronco running the Mission 22 paint scheme this weekend. Of course, Mission 22 helping prevent veteran suicide. And if you want to check out their mission, They have a phone number on the rear of that car, and if I could get a look at it, I will love to show it to you, but just Google Mission 22. It's the 21st century. Hopefully everyone can Google and find that information out, but...
Actually, there is not a number on the back of that car.
yes, there is.
Is there?
Yep. 615-645-2451.
I was looking at the other Mission 22 con, Jonathan Cadell.
Oh, well.
In the 65.
I didn't know Jonathan Cadell was even here. Well, good to see him back. But again, text, give, or donate to 615-645-2451 to aid the cause. And of course, Jonathan Cadell, I didn't realize he is also running a Mission 22 scheme in that number 65 car. And really cool to see those two cars identical this week. Nice looking schemes there, guys. All right, pace car rolling back off the racetrack. We got to wait a little while to get back to the start-finish line. The 27 will be in control. 80 laps to go, about an hour and 6 minutes from here to the end. Jeff Ward lined up in that inside lane. He's been strong the last month, trying to claw his way forward in the point standings, but a win would do so much to help him out and keep Eckridge down. Looking in the mirror the next couple weeks. Green flag back in the air as we cross the start-finish line to complete lap number 14. 80 to go. DeBarro on the restart.
His outside lane got a very good restart as well as the inside lane, but it looks like Eckridge is ready to go with Paul Pepper on that outside.
Hey, I'll say he's pushing the heck out of him through turns 1 and 2. The 3 got a little bit squirrely, but now the inside lane got a little checked up. Ooh, Paul Pepper sideways out of turn 2. Eckridge shoving him forward on the back straightaway.
Yeah, and it looks like they're going to dive down in front on the 27 DeBarro. That leaves Dulger in the outside lane by himself, and now he's got Jeff Ward in behind him.
Top 3, Pepper, Eckridge, DeBarro. Then right behind the 89 and 88 teaming up, there's John Wilco in the 62 up inside the top 5 here early, trying to claw his way forward. In the outside lane kind of gathering some more cars. Evan Adams jumps in the outside as well, but the inside pushing so hard, but we've seen a motor blow, Finian. Take a look at the track conditions. It's not very hot out here, but it's going to get real hot in those motors when you're pushing on someone's rear bumper. You can't get air to that engine.
Yeah, you really do need to give air to these engines. Considering how much you're able to push and be behind someone, you really need to get out of the line and give it some air, because, like, as we've seen, it can definitely blow.
Down the back straightaway now, 2 by 2, even organized lines. Much different than what we saw on Saturday. We saw some chaos there, but now it looks like we kind of settled out into our lines, and now it just becomes find a friend. And if you the 3 car pulls right up in front of the 27, and DeBarro denies him to the outside lane. The 3's going to get hung in the middle here, and that is how you don't get friends, Finian. If you make moves like that, someone might look at you and say that's aggressive, that's good for the end, but right now, 16 laps in, they're going to jump right around you and make that pass.
Yeah, and from calm to chaos there, it's 3 wide for the lead, and Wilco looks like he's had enough. He's pulling out a line.
Yeah, he's just going to get way out of the way and let these guys deal with it amongst themselves up at the front, but Ward pushing the 3 of Paul Pepper back to the lead, and Pepper has been really aggressive tonight. Ooh, the 88 tried to pull down. Didn't know the 70 was there. Almost turned himself off the nose of the 70 of Eckridge. Close call there for those front runners.
Yeah, it looks like I'm probably going to get refuted by this in about half a lap, but it looks like it's calmed down for now. Here comes Evans and McQuistion on the outside.
Jared Matthew involved in that caution. They got away without much damage, and he sits running 8th right now, jumps to the outside lane behind McQuistion, and Evan Adams leading the outside lane now. And the fast guys that have been up front most of the race all on the inside. And looking in the back, I see Thomas Bresci in that red, white, and blue Exalta car. He's creeping up in here. I think he wants to fight a little bit. The 59 gets hung out on the outside lane. McQuistion and the 26 of Matthew drive by through the middle.
And how about Mike Hurley sticking in that 32? I thought he was going to lose a draft. Here he is proving me wrong, so that car can still continue to go on.
That just shows you how strong the draft is now. With that mangled front end, he would have been laps down by this point on the old package. Paul Pepper again jumps to the outside lane in front of McQuistion. McQuistion's going to try to hang him out to dry again. Contact between the quarter panel of the 3 and the bumper of the 93. That's really scary on lap 18.
Yeah, McQuistion trying to take this lead almost single-handedly. He's got Jared Matthew car length back, and you see them still almost dooring each other. McQuistion pinching down that inside lane. On
the front straightaway now, the aggression level has picked up. I thought they would calm down here, Finian, but that has not been the case. They're pushing and shoving and being ultra aggressive here early. Remember, there's halfway points assigned at about 30 laps, so you gotta keep yourself up here. If you hang out in the back and it goes green to the end of the run, you're in trouble. And Don Runkle Jr. is hanging out at the rear right now with some teammates, and that's a great idea now. And if they have a caution, but if it goes green to the end, he's got some work to do.
Yeah, outside lane with a big run now. McQuestion out in the lead. I think Matthew's also going to get clear to the inside lane. Indeed, and here they drop down, and they leave Evan Adams out to dry.
A big checkup in the inside lane, and now the 93 and 26 take the lead away. You mentioned the 59, no help up there, and by the time he gets help, he'll be going a lot slower. The advantage is his teammate's the one coming to help him. And the 89 jumps up the outside lane. Pepper has been so aggressive. I love how this 3-car looks, Finian. If he makes it to the end of the race, he'll be my pick.
Hard to say, the way he's driving, I would say he's almost earned that 3 on the side door. He's been peeking out every single time he can to get to the front.
There's something to be said. As long as it's not reckless, making moves like that will make you really good around a restrictor plate racetrack. And out of turn 2, the front 4, 2 by 2, Pepper and the 89 of Ward locked together. Those two pushing and shoving. The inside lane, the Toyota of McQuestion and the 26 of Jared Matthew in a Camaro.
Yeah, Eckridge has joined the 59 of Evans on that outside lane. He's starting to push him up to the front.
I think this early in the race, you're working with pretty much anybody, and then as you work your way through the race, you'll probably pick some people that you've seen as probably the best, and you see the 70 is going to try to go up the middle of the 59. And by himself, Eckridge is side-drafting his way up toward the front of his pack. Does Pepper go to block? I don't think he'll bother, because the 70 has no help, and he'll begin to fall backwards, but look at the run he's got.
Yeah, he's staying in there. He hasn't been dropping back, and there you see the 26 peel out of line. He's come to help the 70. And Eckridge looking like he's going to try to take this. Ooh, Pepper coming up the block.
Pepper throws the block. The 70 pushes him down the back straightaway. A little bit squirrely. But I think everyone up front's got to know that that 3-car is going to keep them up at the front. But the 89, a little bit off the bumper. The 93 off into turn 3, some wiggling. And the chaos has reinstated itself here. Only 21 laps into this race. Eckridge and the 26 of Matthew shoving on the outside lane with help from Adams and the 15 of Cody Tabor.
Yeah, Tabor started almost at the tail end of this field, restarted, and drove his way back up. Here he comes to the outside with the 59. 3 wide up front.
Maybe they'll try to roll it outside lane. There's plenty of space for 3 lanes here, Finian, but sometimes you get drivers kind of pinching you down. There's lots of racetrack. Let's use it all. Now the 3 and 70 dead heat through turn 2 as they make their way onto the backstretch.
Yeah, they are dogfighting between both of them. We've seen a lot of this. The 2 lanes just kind of going back and forth. McQuestion jumps up the high lane, leaves the bottom.
And he's going to go way up to the outside lane, and he'll probably take Evan Adams with him. No, Evans jumps back to the middle. Oh, the 21 in the wall behind him! Slipping, sliding, keeps it off the wall after that, but bounced off it pretty good and almost took out 32 of Mike Hurley, but they'll continue.
What on earth happened to him?
I think he was pushing and lost the nose or something, but he slipped up into the fence. No damage, it looks like, but he'll continue.
Yeah, he was actually pushing, he was pushing the 56 of Pelletier, and yeah, just, I think, sliding off the nose and hit the wall in the corner, but he's still back in the draft here and trying to work his way up to the front.
As he get the inside and outside dead even here between the 70 and the 3. And now third lane forming with the McQuestion vehicle. I think he's got Norm Pelletier and Nick Cohan tucked in behind, so those 3 Toyotas on the outside lane. Oh, the 70 throws a block on the 26. Matthew jumps over in front of the 93, but couldn't get there in time. Everyone scrambles to miss him.
Yeah, Evans and Tabor checked out big time out of the middle lane. They've dropped back. And the Toyotas on the outside trying to get a run for him, but I don't think they can right now.
Out of turn 4, completing lap number 23, Eckridge throws a block on the 26. The 26 says nope, and just drives around the outside of him. That split up that Toyota group, and now they're 2 versus 1 on the middle group. Wow, this is dicey stuff right now. Tyler Dolger on the inside lane behind Anthony DeBarro. Right now, I want to be on the inside, Finian. It's easier to avoid wrecks on the inside versus the outside, but later in the race, whoa, the 70 gets all sorts of sideways out of turn 2.
Wow, he got really sideways. I was amazed he was able to hang on. McQuestion trying to work him on the outside with the help from Tabor in the 15.
Wow, this is getting really aggressive up front. Look at the run for the 56 Norm Pelletier. He's going to drive around teammate Nick Cohan. And the 70 and 15 get together. The 70 spins, and the 3 is collected. And the 70 tries to save it on the apron, and he does. How did they not crash?
I'm still trying to figure that out. We are still green, though, and up front, it's kind of chaos as these guys are trying to sort themselves back out. Cody Tabor's going to lead at the line.
Wow, what a moment there. And Pelletier drops to the inside lane. We'll take you back for a replay.
Back in the back with the 71 of Gale Brooks.
Oh, no, Runkle's in it. And he gets door slammed by the 71 of Gale Brooks. And that is probably the end of the Fuel Finals for the 00.
Yeah, no caution still. We remain green because that wreck happened on the apron, although it started on the track.
It started up front with the 71, and I think the 32.
Yeah.
Oh, the 88 was
they got it
slow,
together.
and the 71 tried to shoot the gap and just ran out of a hole there, and the 00 Runkle had nowhere to go. That's a real shame for him.
Yeah, remember, I think it was on Saturday, I think it was on Saturday we had a similar wreck and a caution came out where everyone got disjointed. Here's kind of the answer of what if they continued.
And that's likely going to be the end of the championship run for Don Runkle, which started all the way back a couple weeks into the season at Auto Club Speedway. Stayed out, strategy call, won the race. Unfortunately, it's looking less and less likely as here comes the field to put him a lap down, and severe damage on that car as the front pack is 3 wide for the lead.
Yeah, they're still going at it up front here with Pelletier and McQuistion in the lead.
And the 70 got into the side of the 15. I don't think he knew the 15 was to his outside. He drifted way up the racetrack and got into him, but Eckrich has some damage, but it's not severe. So they'll all continue. I can't believe that wasn't the crash there.
Oh, we might have a crash here. Whoa, Evan Adams loose on the apron. Just trying to give way for the 26. He's going to maintain and keep the car going.
Bressy's got to run with the 89. They'll go around the outside.
And Pelletier's going to get suckered hole in the middle. He's going to try to hang on there, but it looks like McQuistion and the 26 are going to march their way on through.
93's to come right over in front of the 56 just in time, but the 89 and 24 pushing hard on the outside lane. Those guys teamed up and going places. Bressy looked like he wanted to pop out a line to the inside, and he does. And he's going to get some help from the 93 here in a moment, and he'll go to the top spot.
Yeah, I thought these guys would calm down a little bit considering that they almost had a big one there, but it looks like if anything it's ramped up a bit as Bressy's going to find himself in the lead. He's got McQuistion in behind as well as Pelletier, and Ward slots himself in fourth car in line.
And Runkle goes a lap down, and the 46 of Greg Evans is loving how this is turning out right now. But remember, Evans is not in the okay zone yet, Finney, and if he gets taken out, as long as Runkle finishes this race and the 46 crashes, there's still potential for the 46 to be the one going home. So it's not over yet. Runkle's just got to stay in the game because anything can happen at Talladega. Up at the front, duking and diving. The 89 of Jeff Ford jumps to the outside lane. Lots of shuffling behind them as well. Greg Evans and Thomas George. But up in the top spot, still changing lanes.
Yeah, and from the looks of it, so Greg Evans leading a second pack with Thomas George, Jonathan Goodell, Rhett McBride, and Paul Pepper. They're slowly marching their way back up. And Paul Pepper, actually, I was scared he was going to lose the draft, and that would have been unfortunate considering how dominant his car was. But he's about to be back in this.
Across the start-finish line, lap number 28 completed. But you know what? I think this has gotten more aggressive, partially because now that the lines aren't so formed up, people are just kind of turning left and right and taking whatever hole they can get and taking these huge runs and going places with them. And when you have organized lines, it kind of negates that. But look at this outside lane now. The 26 and the 89 lined up. They're pushing strong. The 26 of Matthew takes the lead for a moment, but here comes McQuistion on the inside lane with help from the 56 of Pelletier.
Yeah, they're starting to kind of get sorted out here until someone kicks it off. And actually, speaking of that, Evans looked like he was going to do the outside. He has the 15 in behind.
There's Paul Pepper. You see at the back of that shot, still in 11th after that scary moment. His car looks okay as well. Just some slight right rear damage to that vehicle. We're 3 wide up in front. The 25 of Minto up the middle. But there's a lot of pushing and a lot of shoving, Finney, and we still have over 15 laps to the end of the halfway break where points are awarded.
Yeah, and actually, I think we should keep an eye on this 3 car. He looks like he's not settled in for now. Whoa, cuts the nose off the 21.
Wow, that was really tight there, and I don't know how much Cohan appreciated that. He's going to give him a big shove, and almost got into the quarter panel, and the 3 car jumps to the outside lane. Pepper is on a mission.
Yeah, I can tell he's not letting off the gas no matter what. There he is up the middle between Ward and
4 wide.
24 Bressy.
4 wide for a moment. Look at Pepper coming through, and maybe Cohan is a little salty at Paul Pepper.
Whoa, McQuistion goes out. Here comes Paul Pepper, 3 wide for the lead.
Wow, this 3 car is just... You didn't get my joke, Kenny. I'm disappointed.
Oh.
Cohan salty at Paul Pepper.
Jesus
Oh,
Christ.
no, the 93 goes up to block. He couldn't quite get there.
Whoa.
And Pepper goes around the outside again. That 3 car is on a mission. Side drafts for a moment with help from the 89. What is going on in that cockpit of that 3 car? He's a man possessed.
think he could see the air because he just drove all the way up trying to take the lead away, but couldn't. Ran out of some help at the front. He's kind of stalled out for now. And McQuistion's still stuck in the middle.
He took a big run. McQuistion tried to side draft off the 24 as they exit turn 4. Matthew continues to lead. Pepper drops out again. He is so aggressive. He's not willing to sit in line for 5th. He's going for the top spot and will accept nothing less.
Yeah, McQuistion wants him to sit in behind him, but he's the 3's having none of it as he rocks to the outside, and Ward's trying to help him up to the front.
Yeah, Ward and the 89 and 3 have been working together really nicely so far, but I don't know what happened to that 3-car a lap ago. He was just driving through everyone like they were stopped.
Yeah, I saw Ward peek out there. I think the engine's getting a little bit hot. It looks like he's trying to find some air.
And I think everyone knows that, you can only go so far before that engine will expire. And we saw that earlier. The 3 drops to the inside lane, assumes the lead. What a couple of laps. Ooh, the 89 drops right in front of the 93 McQuistion. Inches there, maybe, if that.
Yeah, and he slots back in front of him, but man, that was close. These guys are playing with inches.
Well, their spotters better be on their toes tonight because they're using them for sure. The 89 goes to the lead. The 93 tries to come down in front of the 3-car, can't quite fit in that hole. Here comes Cody Tabor in the outside lane as well, completing lap number 32.
Yeah, these guys are going to be catching some lap traffic, and I bet they're going to be catching John Welko and Mike Hurley.
Those lap cars at the top of your screen just disappearing off in the distance, but these guys continue to race. Oh, the 59 of Evan Adams in the wall. Slipping, sliding. He saves it. He's going to lose a bunch of momentum, though. And it looks like we calmed down for a moment, but we know how long that's going to last. Probably about a half a lap. Don Runkle still way off the pace, but still only 1 lap down. And with how these front runners are running, I wouldn't be surprised if we saw another caution here before the halfway break. Or excuse me, the halfway points.
Yeah, I think he's hoping for that at the moment because, yeah, he's very off pace right now, only going 165 right now.
That's not going to be a fun night for sure. But you still got the opportunity to stay in this race if all goes well.
Ooh, up for the lead. Paul Pepper jumps to the outside of Ward. He's got
oh, no! He tries to slot in. The 93 says no and boots him out of the inside lane.
Yep, and here comes Ward joining the 3.
Wow. I guarantee you that Toyota team is a little bit upset with the 3 of Paul Pepper right now because he has been slotting that car in places it cannot go. They put Mike Hurley a lap down now. But to Pepper's credit, he's managed to hang on, and he's led a significant portion of this race just by how aggressive he's been driving.
Yeah, although, again, you've got to be said that that type of aggressive driving will end you up in the fence.
Well, almost did about 3 times last lap. There's John Wilco. He's going a lap down as well. This race has kind of gone south for him. And he's going to need a caution to get himself back in position to get back in this fight.
Yeah, although I think he should be able to pick up with these guys here. Shouldn't be able to go another lap down if he catches the draft.
Out of turn 2, now another lap car. That's Runkle once again, about to go 2 laps down. He's way off the pace. 30-mile-an-hour speed difference here, Finney, and this is going to be a little sketchy. Everyone going to try to jump out of the inside groove. The 93 comes up fast, slots in line. Everyone looks like they're going to get through here relatively okay.
Yeah, I was going to say, they're all kind of single file for the most part, and they're able to just kind of shoot around the outside.
I don't think Runkle's going to give this up. I think he's going to just stay in this fight as long as that engine will let him.
Oh, yeah, and I think definitely he wants to, because, like, as you said earlier, it's Talladega, anything can happen. All he needs is for Evans to retire in a big wreck, and a big enough wreck for some other cars for him to just jump up 4 spots. Actually, sorry, no, he's ahead, so he just needs to pass Evans at that point.
Brandon Minto jumped out of line, but no one went with him. He's going to be losing a couple spots here. That Gas Monkey Garage number 26 going to slot in line behind. McQuistion tries to go to the outside of the 3, but no one looked like he wanted to go with him. Clouds have come over Talladega Superspeedway. They'll cool off the racetrack, make these cars even more maneuverable. And single file now, I think it's, well, let's see how many laps we're in on. Well, we're going to be probably coming into pit road here in a couple laps, so I was going to do a sound surge, but probably not the right time. It's hard to do it at Talladega because you don't want to miss any exciting racing.
Yeah, I would say with the older package, it was boring enough where you could do it quite often. Here, they could be single file 1 lap and double file almost 3 wide the next.
All right, so we've singled out now. I think everyone's starting to plan their pit stops here, finishing about 25 laps since they've come to pit road. Now you got to find your friends because you do not want to pit alone.
But it looks like Tabor and the 26 and Matthew are not going to sit single file. They're trying to work on the outside. Here they come with the run.
And about 10 laps to the halfway point of this race where points will be awarded for the top 10. Greg Evans sitting just outside of that points-paying position. And he probably doesn't need those points, but it will certainly put the 00 in a really bad spot if he were to get any.
Yeah, and actually Evans riding in 11th. He's just outside the points, so again, but we are going to have green flag pit stops before that is, so the order these guys are in now is definitely not going to be the order they're going to be coming off pit road.
Well, the 15 and 26 started to give pressure to the leader, Jeff Ward, and Paul Pepper leaned on that rear bumper and pushed the 89 back out in front, so Pepper is just refusing to go down tonight. And I think he's willing to sacrifice himself and probably Jeff Ford as well to make that happen.
I don't think Jeff Ward's going to be agreeing with that game plan, though.
Does anybody else ever agree to anyone else's plans at Talladega? I think that's pretty few and far between. 38 laps complete, working towards the halfway point, about 46 minutes in this race remaining. Don Runkle 2 laps down, still just hanging in there. That's all he can do in that Mission 2200.
Evan Adams down on pit road by himself.
And that's really a death sentence at Talladega, so he'll be in trouble. And if he fixes any damage, he'll even lose more time to the pack he was in. So he comes on to pit road for, presumably... Oh, he missed his box too, Finian.
Oh, up for the lead, though. 3 wide. Cody Tabor working to the outside.
Oh, here he comes. Paul Pepper shoots underneath Jeff Ward. So 3 wide for the lead, lap number 39. We presume pit stop's coming up soon. And Pepper is not willing to sit in second. Or third. Or anywhere other than the first.
If you ain't first, you're last. But yeah, he's holding that line like a boss, honestly, on that inside lane. He's been doing a great job. But here comes actually Ward with a great run on the outside.
They'll re-clear the number 3. Now the outside lane's gathered some momentum because Thomas Bresci has jumped up to help those Camaros up top. Front pack is probably about 15 cars strong, something like that. And then there's a couple small collections of cars around the rest of the racetrack, but for the lead, Cody Tabor clears, and he pulls down in front of the 89 and didn't take the 26 with him.
Yeah, and actually looks like there's a hole opening up. I think Bresci's going to jump down there. That 26 is going to drop to the back a little bit. And up, and Tabor comes back up to help the 26.
Some shuffling around. Lap number 40 closing in. Can we make it to the halfway point of this race? And I'm starting to think that we can, but nope, we cannot. Some of the other drivers on pit lane. Jonathan Cadell in the 65. Greg Evans. A couple other drivers down. Thomas George, Rhett McBride as well. So that pit stop sequence has started, and we expect the rest of these drivers to come on the next couple laps.
Yeah, it looks like everyone made it into their stalls okay in that group of drivers. You're now waiting the rest of these guys to make their way on down.
Thomas Bresci putting pressure on the outside of the 3, trying to get to the quarter panel. The side draft can't quite get there before turn 3.
Yeah, this is the big thing here. Who's going to make the run down on pit road? I see some guys pulling out.
Bresci and a whole lot of other drivers finishing. The only ones that didn't, those top 2, Ward and Paul Pepper. I think everyone got in here relatively unscathed. Nice, clean, a little bit of a lockup for somebody, but I think everyone else nice and clean. So coming up a couple laps to the halfway point, there's Scott Eckrich in the background. Whoa, he's in a little hot.
Yeah, I was watching him. He came in really hot.
Did he get down to pit road speed in time?
Yeah, he was somehow able to. He did a great job doing so.
So that leaves only 2 drivers out on the racetrack that have not made their pit stop for this run that were the leaders. And 21 leaves pit road, Cohan, and there's Thomas Bresci. And it looks like Bresci is going to win the race off pit road here, and they're going to try to get back up to speed. And under speed here, Talladega's got a pretty decent size apron, so you can really mash that throttle. But here come the 2 leaders, Paul Pepper and Jeff Ward, to pit lane. And nice and smooth for them as well, but we'll watch the battle on the banking in turns 1 and 2 as they get back up to speed.
Yeah, interested in seeing how this sorts itself out. So Cadell leading the guys who are already running on the track, and I think it'll be Bresci maintaining the lead here.
Yeah, I think Bresci might, but now the 21 and 93 get a run to the outside. I think they're going to take it, and no help for the 24. Whoa, there's a little bit of a shuffle there.
Whoa, big shuffle indeed as they're trying to get hooked up, building up a run. Actually, behind them, the 65 of Cadell is still going at speed. And he just catches up to them, and Bresci's just going to get blown by on that outside.
Yeah, no teammate there to help him as...
Whoa, I see someone spawn
Pepper,
off
it's Paul Pepper. He spun out on the exit of pit lane. He's lost it, and that's going to be huge if he doesn't get a caution in the next couple laps. Let's quickly jump back and watch how it happened. But one of the fastest cars of the night leaving pit lane, a big mistake for the 3 car.
Oh, yeah, missed a shift.
Missed a shift, put it back in gear, and spun it out. We stay green. But Paul Pepper is going to have to slot in line with Cody Tabor and John Wilco. But up front, wow, look at this chaos here. The 27 middle 3 wide. As the front 3 have broken away, everyone now just trying to get back in line. But that was a very sketchy moment in turns 3 and 4.
Yeah, guys, just trying to get themselves sorted out here with all the pit stop groups meeting back up with each other.
There's the 33 of John Rodden. He is currently scored on the lead lap. Oh, no, excuse me, he's 1 lap down. Oh, he's going to go to the outside of the 21. Contact between the leader and the 33 of Rodden. He gets shuffled out of line. Here comes Thomas George back to the 21. And the 93 McQuistion, with help from Bresci, goes to the top spot.
Yeah, we're still not done with chaos. These guys are still going at it.
Off into turn 3 now. These guys have been pushing and shoving so much harder than we saw on Saturday. We've only had 1 caution so far, working to halfway. Only 3 laps left at that point, Finian. And points are awarded. And where's that 46? P5.
Yeah, now right now, this is where you want to start pushing just a little bit, trying to get those points. They're going to get the points as they complete lap 47.
27, or excuse me, the 27 and 21 pushing hard. They jump to the outside to split the 24-3. This is going to be so frustrating for Bresci. No help out there right now. And a team of a bunch of Toyotas on the outside and a couple Camaros on the inside, leaving them out to dry.
Yeah, I'm trying to find where and I was trying to find where Hensley is. He just came across the line right now, so he's way out behind him. So yeah, Bresci can't rely on have any reliable help to work with, so he's just by himself.
Navarro to the top spot with help from the 21. Navarro's got a big dent on that rear bumper, which makes pushing difficult for the 21 of Cohan.
Yeah, this is going to be a big race, too, because we saw Scott Eckridge was about, whoa, Thomas George, big move to the outside, 3 wide, second row.
Yeah, McQuistion split the 21 to the inside and kind of shoved his nose in there. And now Bresci jumps up to help fellow Camaro driver in the 9. And he'll try to push him around the outside. And you know what this reminds me of, Finney? The 2-car tangos from a couple of years ago.
I was just about to say.
2 by 2 by 2 by 2. The front. Whoa, the 93 all sorts of sideways out of turn 2. Or is that the 89 that was sideways?
It was the 93 the sideways. Ward got out of the way. He
Whoa.
comes up to block the 9. Thomas George's going to
4 wide again.
4 wide for a second.
For more than a second, all the way down the last half of the straightaway. We get it sorted out, and the 46 goes middle 3 wide to get in the inside of the 89, and he'll drive right back into the top 5 into 4th.
I don't know how these guys can keep on doing this.
I
would have a heart attack by now.
I thought we should have had about 5 more cautions than we have. Now McQuistion jumps to the outside, no help there. And a lap car, that's Tyler Dolger right up the middle of the racetrack. Where do they go to get around him?
It looks like Dolger's going to pull high. He's going to get out of this. Ooh, Greg Evans looks like he's dropping out.
Oh, that's interesting. Maybe that was, that was the, was that a lap too early, Finian? I think he thought that the points were awarded there, but they should be at the end of lap 47. He might have dropped out of this a lap too soon and sacrificed those points.
Oh, no.
That's a big lapse for the 46 car, Finian, and he needs those points, because if he gets in a wreck, that 00 can still be in this fight for the fuel finals.
Well, yeah, unless I did my math wrong, these guys should be coming to the line now. This is going to be for halfway points. McQuistion leading, and Ward in second place.
47 laps. Yeah, you're right, Finian. It should be lap 47, the completion of it. And across the line, McQuistion, all the way down to Cadell. The 46 of Evans gets 8th. That'll be 2 points. But he could have had so many more.
Yeah, he came across the line last lap in 3rd place before he pulled out of line.
That means his deficit, not including their running positions right now, his deficit to Don Runkle is 2 points. So if they were, that's he could have been leading Runkle and had to even worry about Runkle. But 9 car drops out of line as well.
Yeah, now you can afford to kind of drop back, and I think George realized that. I'm kind of wondering if Evans realized his mistake by now or not. But yeah, that was a Mark Martin moment right there.
Sure was. Don Runkle leaves the pits He's about to go 4 laps down, but if he can just finish this race, if anything happens at 46, he's going to be there to take over. But he's got to hope something happens at 46.
Yeah, he's got to hope. He's really got to hope at this point, because Evans is having a pretty good run, and these guys. Actually, no, I'm not going to say it. I would say this is the comments they've been so far, but we saw them 4 wide for a moment on the back straightaway a while ago.
Okay, well, while we're kind of calm, let's do a quick SimTV sound surge. Continuing live here on SimTV, Greg Evans leads this race in behind the 33 of John Rodden, who is just maintaining his position on the lead lap right in front of the leaders. Everyone's kind of single filed out. Where's Paul Pepper? 16 seconds back from the main pack, Finian, with Scott Eckridge and a couple other hard hitters from earlier in the night that have had misfortune so far. Eckridge has got quite a bit of rear end damage from a couple different collisions, and they're losing time, and not just a little bit. They're losing almost a second a lap.
Yeah, I think Eckridge is happy to see Pepper. I think they're going to try to work together and potentially move to the front, although they haven't been doing so far.
They might need a caution. Runkle there on the outside going another lap down to these drivers, but up towards the front again, some shuffling going on. Nick Cohan carries some momentum with help from Norm Pelletier. They take the outside lane by storm and bring Anthony DeBarro with them. They slot in line. The top. Oh no! The 21 gets turned in front of the field and takes out several drivers, and the 46 gets taken out too. And the field scatters in turn 4, the second caution of the night, a big one in turn 4. And that's how fast things change at Talladega. Second caution of the evening. Let's go back and take a look. The 21 got turned off the nose of the 56. We'll go back and take you to it. I think the 46 got away with really not as much damage as he could have gotten, but here's another look at the incident. So it looks like the 56, they go down to the inside lane. I think the 56 just beats the 21 there and just tags him just enough. Spins up. John Rodden gets a piece. The 24 Abressi spins around and clobbers the 46. Evan Adams gets stopped, but this is the 46 is really where I think my focus is.
Yeah, and actually, Evans is should be lucky because he could have gotten a lot more damage. He actually went through the 21, didn't give him any damage there, but yeah, that contact with the 24s really did him in.
Yeah, what I'm worried about is that was square on the right front fender, and that could knock the steering out of it and will make that thing basically undrivable. That was a big, heavy hit there. So if he doesn't have steering damage, he should really consider himself lucky there.
Yeah, I'm trying to check now.
Ooh, the 88 Adulter got in the fence as well.
And from the looks of it, doesn't look like he has damage.
That would be amazing if he didn't. But the field comes back down to pit lane, and Don Runkle's still in the fight here. Finian will have to see how much damage the 46 has, but he can't afford to just drop out of this, even if it's not very fun to drive. He's got to stay. Both these drivers have to stay in it to the very end. Kohan, though, is pretty well totaled.
Yeah, I mean, he's kind of got to stay. He doesn't really have much of a choice. He kind of has to stay in it, because even if he does survive this week, he's both him and Don are essentially 26, 28 points out of the next the next guy, which is Jeff Ward, going to next week. So they're already at a deficit going in. So they have to make sure they get at least somewhat of a decent finish here.
You know who was really thrilled about that caution?
Paul Pepper?
Absolutely. Paul Pepper is going to be right back in this lead pack. They'll take off behind Anthony DeBarlo. So 2 cautions so far for only a couple laps. 28 lead changes, though, Finian. So we're continuing the about half a lead change per lap. So every 2 laps we're having about a lead change on average, which was very similar to the numbers we saw on Saturday, although we still have about 40 laps left in this race. So we only have about 33 minutes. We're getting down towards the end of this, Finian. When do you make your move? I mean, in the past, you had to make it with 10 to 15 to go. I think you wanted to be in the lead coming back to the start-finish line. Tonight, that seems very, very wrong. So what's your plan?
I think, honestly, coming out of turn 4, find a friend or phone a friend and go with them. I think definitely you're going to need at least someone to work with you to give you a run on the outside, or if not, try to side draft off of someone, although I don't think it's as effective as it used to be.
Let's see if we can pull in Thomas Bresci. I don't know if he's got his mic muted or not, but let's see if we can chat with him real quick. Hey, Thomas Bresci, it's Kyle from SimTV. You got a copy?
Oh, I gotcha.
All right, Thomas. Well, unfortunately, got collected in that recent incident there, but looks like the car is relatively straight, considering all that damage. So how's it driving, and do you think you can hang on and maybe get yourself a victory?
I think it's okay. I had Travis telling me the damage didn't look too bad, but I had like 46 seconds optional, so I think it's well, we're idling a little low, so it might be down on a bit of power. That's good. I don't know. This is nuts. People are doing some really dumb stuff. I don't know what. I have no idea what some of the people out here are doing right now, but this has been absolutely insane.
I think the insanity has certainly been crazy. I mean, we've done a couple streams this week from Talladega, and this one has by far been the craziest. So you say people are making moves, but, you know, when we talk about, like, guys like Paul Pepper, the 93 McQuistion, they're just slotting themselves into holes that barely exist. Is that something you're going to have to do with the last lap to maintain yourself or get yourself a victory, or do you think you can do it doing a little less drastic maneuvers?
I mean, I told somebody that, you know, on like lap 19, I was asking what the leaders were doing because they're weaving all over the back straightaway like they're drunk. And then someone who told me to worry about myself ended up wrecking themselves like 3 laps later. So do with that what you will. But I mean, yeah, you got to be aggressive, but we're barely past halfway. It's just, I don't mind racing like this when it's inside of 10 to go, but we got so much left in this race. I mean, people being like, I know Don's not real happy because he got his whole chances of advancing screwed over because people were being stupid before we were even like, we were barely a quarter of the way through the race. So, I mean, I guess you kind of need to, but I just don't know why people are doing it right now. So I guess that's for them to figure out. Not, I don't know. I just got to dodge whatever mess keeps coming up, I suppose. And
you've been towards the front most of the night, and teammate Tyler Hensley's been a little bit behind you for most of the evening. We saw earlier, it's got to be pretty frustrating not having a teammate up there with you. How have you been dealing with that as a single driver up inside the top 10?
Honestly, it's not bad. I think, honestly, I'm getting pretty ticked off with how some of the people are driving, so now that I'm not saying that having a teammate is a burden or whatever to kind of work with them, but just being by myself, I can be... If people want to play the stupid game, then I can play ball with them, and I don't really have anybody else that's got to follow me around. I can just kind of bob and weave and do what I want. So he's got a good piece. I know he got in that last, well, not this caution, but the thing that didn't bring out a caution a while ago. He got some front-end damage in that, so hopefully he's all right. But haven't really gotten to figure out where his damage situation is, but it's got its pros and cons. I've definitely noticed the pairs working together, who's working together, who's not, and stuff like that. So I guess it's good if you have friends. I've got my friends already. I'm not really here to make more, so.
All right, well, Thomas Bresci not here to make more friends, but probably here to get more victories. Thomas, we'll see you later. Have a good night. Good luck.
Thanks a lot. I'm going to need it.
That was Thomas Bressi, our in-race porter, and I'll put him back here.
Can
Finian.
you
Yep, I'll get it.
move him down for
I
me?
got it. Where is JT Motorsports?
Yeah.
Why can I not put him in there?
Oh, you can't either? Well, that's a problem.
We might be stuck
Man,
with Bressi in the booth.
I got a solution. Hold on.
Oh, he got him. Okay.
Okay.
Thanks.
Oh.
I think he moved himself. Thank you, Thomas. It's still locked for us. We can't get in there, so... Either way, Thomas Bressi, we want to thank him for his time and talking to us. I know it's been a little bit of a frustrating race later in the going, but so far we've only had 2 yellows fitting for 56 laps at Talladega with 25 cars. It's not too bad of a record. And look who's joined the party late. Calvin Filarski makes his way out onto the racetrack.
Yeah, I saw his car sitting on pit road, and I was kind of curious if he would just get out here for just the giggles. But it looks like he's going to do exactly that. Maybe work with his teammates in the Toyotas.
Oh boy, I wonder to see how popular that move will be. Having a car come out 53 laps down just to worry about his teammates. But we'll see how that works out. Also, can I just say, as a Toyota fan, I'm not biased when it comes to this race, but Norm Pelletier's TRD scheme is probably the best looking Toyota paint scheme I think I've seen. That is gorgeous.
Yeah, it's a very nice looking car, although it's unfortunate that it has a few dents and scrapes in the back.
Well, I didn't say it looked good in its current state. The wrap was good when it rolled off the truck, but not so good now. All right, coming back to the green flag here, lot 57, getting down to the end of the last half hour of this race. That's still quite a bit of time here. We've got about 18 cars in the lead lap. There's probably 15 or 16 that are in race-winning condition, but I got my eyes square on that black number 3. Paul Pepper has been all over everyone tonight, being so aggressive, trying to slot himself in line in places that car can't fit, but he's done a good job of it. He'll restart P6, and I bet you it will not take him long to be up in that top spot again.
Yeah, we're going to come back to, I believe, 37 laps ago.
And
my math is right.
You can do the calculator. I'm not going to bother doing that in my head.
About 35 laps ago, we'll say that.
Pace car pulls off, and it's 2 Toyotas and actually 3 Toyotas and 2 Camaros, your top 5, and then it's a couple more Camaros, a couple more Toyotas. The first Fusion, I got ahead of myself there with the Mustang, is down, I believe it's the 59 in 17th. Coming back to the green flag. Green flag back in the air at Talladega. About 37 to go.
Yeah, pretty even start. And how about Pepper immediately jumped to the outside with Scott Eckridge? They're happy to be back up in the front of this field.
Yeah, I told you it wasn't going to take him very long. He's got a big run. The 93 jumps
Whoa.
up. The 3 up the middle to the 89, and look who he's found. That was almost like he baited him for that. That was a well-thought-out move.
Yeah, and actually was a little squirrely getting back to the middle there. Immediately pushes the 89, goes to the outside. He's trying to take the lead.
Like I said, if this 3 car makes it to the white flag, he will win this race.
He's driving like he's in a NASCAR heat game.
I mean, it's unbelievable, the moves that he's made. And I guarantee you that guys like Thomas Bressi are a bit peeved off by that. But it's working, and he's up leading this race.
Ooh, 5 McBride pushing very aggressively on the 70, almost turned him around.
Oh, contact in the back. The 59 of Evan Adams and Cody Tabor bouncing off each other.
Oh!
And around goes the 59, and the 32 spins as well. No caution.
I think we're going to get it here.
Yeah, there it is.
Yep,
Caution
there.
out. I think it was for the 32 that spun around. It's Mike Hurley. So our third caution of the night happening at the tail of the field here, and this starts with the 59. I think he's going to drift up into the side of the 15. Yeah, that's just guys really not... The spatial awareness there wasn't really great there, I think. I mean,
Yeah.
there's plenty of racetrack. Not exactly sure what was going on there, but that was very, very, very avoidable.
Fortunately, it took out very few cars, and the cars already taken out had quite a bit of damage.
So caution out for the 3rd time tonight. We've had 29 lead changes. The most recent lead change with Paul Pepper. 3 wide on the restart has retaken the lead. And I think we've been in here for about an hour. I think what we're going to do is we're going to take a break real quick. We're going to take a breath. We'll be back with you in just a couple minutes for the restart. Thank you, and we'll be right back. most, driving is just a mundane task between point A and point B. Nothing more. It's the frustration of traffic at 8 a.m., the feeling of sickness on a long ride. The car? Just a tool. It's supposed to be practical, reliable, and fast. But the speed is really the reason cars exist, born out of a necessity to make that A to B trip just a little bit faster. Some have a deeper connection with cars, found somewhere in the bond of man and machine, a desire to be part of something bigger than yourself. It's the extension of mind and body to something more exciting than just another appliance. And these people never cared about practicality or reliability. To them, the only thing that matters is speed. We're born with a competitive nature, part of a biological necessity that is not yet worn off with time. People have raced for thousands of years, and that competition has transcended history and found its way to the industrial age. Railroads raced to build across the country, replacing the horses whose strength is still used as a benchmark for power today. And as personal vehicles became popular, the railroads died off. What once was the quickest way across the country became snail's pace in comparison. The interstate highway system expanded and cars populated every driveway. And the competition between types of transport quickly transitioned into the race to have the fastest car. Bragging rights. Manufacturers like Porsche, Ferrari, and BMW emerged in auto racing, each trying to one-up the other. Building engines became an arms race. Who could build the fastest dinosaur-powered Lands? So while the passion for cars has died for most, there are still people that are fascinated by racing. The sights, the sounds, the smell of burning rubber and spent race fuel lingering in the air. This is what attracts us to the sport of auto racing. We are empowered by drivers that climb in impossibly fast cars and put everything on the line for the sake of competition. Drivers who know that one slip-up can lead to disaster. And for the longest time, wishing to be a race car driver was just a childhood dream. All we could ever be was a spectator. Opportunities? Limited and expensive. Reserved only for the who's who of the racing world. Until now. Welcome back live to Sim TV here in the Fuel HostVenom Cup Series, the Fuel Finals. Only a couple rounds remaining in the 2019 A season. Working lap 61 of 94 at the Talladega Superspeedway. 3 cautions have slowed our progress so far, but Paul Pepper, the current leader, over Scott Eckert, Travis McQuiston, Jeff Ward, and Norm Pelletier. See that on the scoring pylon there. Still about 1 lap to green. Finney, and the cautions take a little while around here, but it gives you time to think and strategize, because the strategy is probably more important than your track position with over 30 to go.
Yeah, and again, you want to strategize. Maybe if you can get a chance, try to talk to some people, work out to something. Especially because now you're able to type stuff, so you can just kind of PM some guys. Maybe try to figure out a strategy. Maybe plan on working together towards the end here, as we are just over halfway through this race.
Bit of a shake-up here as a couple of leaders have come to pit lane. So that's really Pepper, Eckert, McQuiston, Ward, and Evan Adams, your top 5. And how about Jonathan Cadell and his return to fuel action? Going to be restarting P6 in that Mission 22 car. Of course, Mission 22 helping veterans with suicide, and that you can Google them and donate or give or anything that you can would help that cause. And of course, the 00 of Don Runkle Jr. also has a Mission 22 paint scheme, and he's flying back in here, Finian, catching back up to the field. He's 4 laps down, but staying in the fight in case the 46 of Greg Evans gets taken out. Those two that are fighting for that final spot in the Fuel Finals before we cut one for next week. Right now, the 46 is in, the 00's out, but that can all change in one moment.
Yeah, we saw it almost change from 2 cautions ago. Well, this caution before the recent one, where he almost got a lot more damage than that, but was able to walk away just a little bit to his right front. Still haven't been able to see these guys get completely up to speed, so we don't know the entire extent of his damage. Same thing with the 24-2, he got a bit of damage too, so we'll have to see, give it about 5 laps to really see how these guys are on pace.
This view from up above shows you how expansive this 2 2/3 mile oval is. Built in the 60s, Finney, on this racetrack. A lot of drivers, when they first came here, they were too afraid. They said it was too dangerous, and they refused to race on it. And I think there's a lot of drivers that would still refuse it if they could. It's a scary racetrack, high speeds, and you lap this 2 2/3 mile oval in 48 seconds while you're drafting. That is ridiculously fast, and it's ridiculously terrifying, and you're relying on the fate of not only yourself, but everyone else around you. And one guy makes a mistake, they can take out several. You and your teammates. So Paul Pepper back in control of this race. He's been probably the dominant car of the night, or at least the most aggressive driver out there. He's going to be in front of Travis McQuistion, and those two lined up have not really been the best of friends tonight. The outside lane is the 89 of Jeff Ward and the 70 of Scott Eckrich. Eckrich has won a bunch of races this season, 9 to be exact, and looking to get double digits this season. Green flag back in the air after a lengthy caution, lap 63 of 94, just over 30 to go.
Yeah, a very strung out restart. Most of the guys get single file immediately as they head off into one.
Thomas Bresci in behind Evan Adams. I'm curious to see how much pace that car has, but Bresci's going to give him a shove. There's Greg Evans in that 46 to make our way off of turn 2. Pepper is out in front by over a car length and a half over Eckrich. He might get run down here. Evan Adams pulls off to the apron, down the backstretch. We'll see if anybody pops out of line.
Yeah, and so far, no one at the moment. I think guys might try to stay single file here just for a little bit, right out some laps while it's all in common and dandy, though. Again, all it takes is one view to move to the outside, make a move, and guys are going to fall through.
Out of turn 4, single file now. Is this when we start to wait around a little bit to see the action at the end? We thought we would see a lot of this at the beginning of the race, but nobody wanted to sit around and wait. There's Rhett McBride, middle 3 wide on the outside of the 88 of Dalger. Both these cars sustained damage in earlier events tonight. Both running inside the top 10. Or actually, the 88, excuse me, is 1 lap down. But the 5 car is inside the top 10.
Yeah, I think the reason also we're probably single file is the one car that doesn't want to be anywhere but first is currently in first, so he doesn't have to make any aggressive moves.
Well, the difference is, I mean, everyone wants to be in first, but the 3 car is the only one been crazy enough to get himself there as quick as humanly possible, and he's got a big shove from the 70 of Eckrich. These 2 cars have been working together a lot tonight, as has the 3 and the 89. So coming back to 30 laps to go, about 29 minutes of racing remaining. That's a long time at Talladega, but also very short if you're not at the front of this pack.
And looks like, speaking of the front of the pack, guys trying to make their way there is John Rodden and John Wilco, who were both a lap down at one point, and through these cautions been able to unlap themselves.
They've done a great job just staying in the fight. John Wilco especially. Remember, he avoided that first wreck behind Don Runkle Jr., and that the car does not have a scratch on it. There's Norm Pelletier going a lap down. So something amiss in that 56 car, Finney. And he was leading this race earlier, but he's got big trouble now.
Yeah, he actually just came off of pit road to join the pack.
Evan Adams also on pit lane again. 3 wide up the middle goes the 33 of John Rodden. There's the 26 of Jared Matthew, who's led some laps in this race. They go up the middle, but all single file towards the front for now. And I say for now because in about a lap and a half, we're probably going to be 6 wide on the back straight.
Yeah, don't tempt these guys. They'll do it if they want to. Although, again, the entire top 10 single file still. And Rodden pulls into line here. We'll see if Matthew does the same.
I don't think he could quite fit in any of the holes that were given to him. He might have to slot in behind Wilco. There's a 27 of DeBarro, who has not been at the front in a couple laps. He's gotten kind of shuffled back in all this. 26 has got to slot in front of the Tabor car, but chooses to stay outside.
And since there's a lull in the action here, I'll direct your attention back to Calvin Filarski. Remember how we were wondering why he came back out on the track, and I think I found the reason why.
Oh my goodness. That is really funny. And you know what? It's actually working.
Yeah, it's working. He's going pretty fast compared to what he was doing. He's doing 186 around, was doing 166 by himself, so.
Well, it'll keep him in the fight. It's not going to get him any time back, and they're certainly still losing a bunch of time, but they're doing better than the 00 would have by himself. So keeping that 00 in the fight, again, they need that 46 to have an issue, and right now, he jumps, that 46 is on the inside lane, kind of boxed in as the outside moves forward with the 25 of Brennan Minto. There's the 15 of Cody Tabor and the 26 of Jared Matthew. They're trying to make that outside lane go somewhere.
Yeah, I honestly feel like we're probably not going to see anything out of the 46 for a while. I think he's had enough, but guys starting to get double foul back up to the front, and the race is on yet again.
Yeah, the 89 tried to jump up in front of Jared Matthew, and Matthew said, nope, we're just going to drive right around you, and now the 15 goes up the middle and strands the 26. No friends out there right now.
Yeah, especially with the 26. I feel kind of bad for him. A lot of people ditched him out several times during this race.
And what about the fuel situation here, Finian? When we pitted with about 30-something laps to go, we're going to be awful close to making it on the end on fuel. So we're, that's not correct. Excuse me, I just restarted my graphics software. But we probably should be about 5 to 10 laps into a run. And yeah, that's going to be, I don't think we can do it, but I think we might have some people try. I just don't think we're going to go green all the way to the end, so it might make that point move.
Yeah. Looking at the one green flag stuff we had, let's see, we went about 25 laps.
Oh, so really not that far.
Yeah.
So the outside lane gathering momentum. Now Finney in the front too, locked up, but I don't think Beckrich can keep pushing Pepper like he has been. Now the 89 of Ward has a big shove from the 15 of Tabor and the 25 of Minto. They're coming to the top spot now.
Yeah, indeed, they're starting to work back up there. I'm curious what the 3's going to do once the 89 gets to him.
We're 3 wide. Rhett McBride up the middle of the background. Oh, contact with the 88. Pushing, shoving, knocking his way through. And somehow Rhett McBride doesn't get himself hooked. The 88 of Dalger probably a little bit upset with that. But Dalger's laps down. McBride trying to get himself to the front. Up at the top, though, Pepper continues to lead. He is so strong right now.
Yeah, McBride almost clipped the quarter panel of Wilco, almost turned him around, but they've got it hooked back up. But yeah, Dalger right back on McBride, giving him a shove.
Closing in on 20 to go. The next couple laps, and then it becomes a chess match at 200 miles an hour. Where are you going to put yourself? How are you going to line yourself? And who do you work with?
Looks like Evans is kind of falling back a little bit, although I'm not entirely sure if this is of his own volition or the car.
Well, it's got probably relatively significant damage, but at this point, Finian, if he finishes, he's going to be in a great spot. So maybe just let this one get away, get a decent finish, and not have to worry about not missing the race next week and beyond. So smart driving by the 46, it looks like. And if he, oh no, the 89 gets all sorts of out of shape into the fence and gets back into the 62, turns right in front of the 46, and Wilco caution out, and they spin in front of him. DeBarro gets on through. Matthew gets the worst of it. Pelletier gets, I think he got woed down, but Jeff Ward damaged right in front of the field. That was about as small of a wreck as that could have been. We've said it a couple times tonight, but another disaster averted for the majority of the field. And going back, I think what we're going to see is the 89 just gets loose off the bumper of somebody here. I think it's the 15 of Cody Tabor. Oh yeah, Tabor just turns into his quarter panel, and the 89 just can't do anything about it. Bounces off the 62, clobbers the 26, and the 56 of Pelletier took a big hit to that inside wall. Nothing that the 26 could have done. He was a strong car too. Oh, massive hit for the 56.
Yeah, unfortunately, yeah, Tabor just mistimed that merge back behind the 89, just clipped him around.
Oh.
And all it takes of the speed is just one little shake, and there you saw it.
That 26 of Matthew just had nowhere. I mean, the way that car bounced off the wall, there was nothing, zero that the 26 could have done other than not be there at that time.
And DeBarro had a very good look at the end of that.
We'll ride on board with DeBarro here in just a moment. The shame for some of these drivers that were, again, front runners tonight. Let's ride on board the 27. And he got right on the brakes and got through it. Ooh, that 26 slid right down the racetrack. Scary moment there, but Greg Evans also, he had to stay in this fight. And here's his view in that number 46 Chevrolet Camaro. And right up the middle and through it, the 46 gets on through. And very important for that 46 to do that. Pit road, busy place.
Yeah, but also Iowala awarded to Cody Tabor for bringing out that last caution, so he's going to have to drop to the back.
Penalty for the 15. I think he's been at the source of a couple incidents tonight, so I think that's a slap on the wrist for sure. I'm sure there'll probably be, the penalties usually get announced a couple hours or days after the race, depending on the severity of the incidents. But yeah, I mean, I feel for the 89 because he was a really strong driver, but Paul Pepper gets kind of left behind in pit road here. And I'm excited because that means we get to see Pepper try to drive through the field again. So, looks like the couple drivers didn't pit. The 15 is going to have to drop to the end of the pack here, but the 46 of Greg Evans is going to come out and stay out in front. Well, they pitted. They just rolled out significantly earlier. So the 46 will be your leader on the restart.
Yeah, now with him with that damage, he was looking kind of grim there for a bit. After getting damage involved in that wreck, but here he is now leading. And I am actually kind of curious how the car is in open air.
Well, the good thing for the 46 is that his damage isn't on the front mostly. It's on the right front fender and mostly the rear, that's probably the best place to have it. But he really can't get help, or a lot of it at least, with that damage he's got to the rear frame of that car. So I guarantee you that anyone pushing him in the later stages of this race has to be awful careful not to get in trouble. We're going to have about 20 laps to go at the end of this, Finney, and I'm still looking at the 3 as my favorite. Have you changed your mind, or are you sticking with that car as well?
Well, initially I had my eyes on the 89, so as far as picking someone else, let's see, who else would be able to oppose him?
Yeah, there's not really a lot of options, to be totally honest. I mean,
yeah, there's not a lot of definitive options, because definitely the 3 stands out. A lot of guys are good, but not a definitive car that I would say would be up there. I don't know. I honestly can't pick anyone besides the 3.
you're fired. It's your job, Finney. No,
Well, if that's the case, then I guess probably the 70 Scott Eckridge.
Yeah, I was going to say that'd probably be my second pick as well, but that seems like an obvious pick, but he's been up there all night, and he's been pushing and shoving that 3 car as well, so that duo is probably the strongest group.
He's been up tonight and also been at the back for quite a bit. Got a lucky caution, put him back up there, as well as the 3-2 was also back at one point, so they both caught a lucky break.
Well, Talladega is the land of uncertainty, and for Don Runkle Jr., he's actually gotten himself one of those laps back. So he's 3 laps down now instead of 4. And he's still in 20th place. So if the 46 finishes 18th or worse, Don Runkle should move on.
I also just realized we are very close on fuel.
Yeah, now we are for sure.
Yeah, so imagine some guys are going to be probably shutting the car on and off because you got a decent chance of making it here. We're going to get a restart coming to lap 75.
Yeah, so that's going to put us with 20 laps to go, but we're going to have... I mean, these guys have been pacing for a few laps, so they should be okay. Well, Thomas Bresci sitting in 5th. He's got damage on that car, but he's also looked pretty good in the late going. We talked to him earlier, and it seemed like he might have been down on power, but I got to say that 24 is probably in also pretty decent shape considering what he's been through tonight.
Yeah, it seems like the car is able to handle well behind the draft, and I think, as a car with damage, I think that's the best you can hope for. The car just operates normally in the draft of others. Again, up in the front, it's kind of a different story, but he's definitely got a semi-competitive car.
Scott Eckridge has won a handful of races this year. That's probably an understatement for sure, but to win it at a place like Talladega and also on the road courses and the short tracks and the speedways, and I don't think you can put a stranglehold on a series much more than this 70 car has. I mean, already he's matched the wins that Greg Evans had last season, and there's still races left to go. So the dominance continues for the 70. May not be a victory tonight, but it's still a strong run as we head into the next week. I think we're at Dover, like you mentioned, right?
Yep.
Dover is probably going to be a good place for that 70 car as well. So we should get the 1 to green here, at least I hope. Lights are out of the pace car, 1 to green. Couple wave arounds, Don Runkle, Calvin Filarski, and Evan Adams.
Sorry, Dover for the 3-way Cup Series.
Oh, so what's next week for fuel?
They got Martinsville ISM Homestead last 3 races.
Oh, Martinsville. Okay, well that changes things a little bit. A place for some people to get revenge and payback. And all right, well, coming back to the green, it's going to be 20 laps to go. The ticker is going to change over from saying lap 74 of 94 to saying 20 to go. And then that 3-car Paul Pepper, he went 3 wide on the restart last time he was in P6. He's got DeBarro lined up behind him. I think DeBarro might be willing to go with him, because I think he knows that 3-car will get himself back out up front. Well, top 10 is Chevy, Toyota, Chevy, Toyota, Chevy, Toyota. So a pretty even mix between the brands up at the top of the board.
Set for the Ford.
I think the Mustang coming out in a couple weeks will solve that problem right away.
Yeah, I also note that the 3 Fords we have in this field all ran into unfortunate luck here.
3 Fords. We had the 71 is also a Ford.
Mm-hmm.
Gail Brooks. All right, well, we thought it was crazy earlier. I think we're going to see a similar number as well. I restarted my ticker, Finney, but do you have the lead, the lap or the lead changes count?
I have not been running the software at all.
Oh, okay. I thought that was a thing that you could check with an iRacing, but I guess not. But I'll guarantee you it's over 35. So it's been significant.
Yeah, I think it's a good bet.
Ace car rolls out of turn 4 on the 33-degree banks of Talladega. 20 to go. 3 races left after tonight. Only a couple left to eliminate the rest of the Fuel Finals field before we set our final group for Homestead. Coming back to the green flag, Greg Evans in that 46. He needs to do 18th or better. And at this point, actually make that 17th or better as Jared Matthew is retired. Flag man has the flag in his hand. Changes from yellow to green.
Oh, big stack up.
Wow, yeah, you're right. Big stack up there. Green flag back in the air. Paul Pepper all over the back of Scott Eckrich as we get the 20 to go. And head down to turn 1.
Yeah, some guys getting more damage. Bressy got quite a bit of damage to his nose of his car.
That 46 did not get a very good restart, so McQuistion drives around to the outside. He brings Eckrich and Paul Pepper with him. Where does that 3 jump out of line? We're waiting for it. He hasn't done it yet. Here comes the 70. He drops to the bottom and takes the 3 with him.
Yeah, McQuistion gets left out of the dry on the top side. He's got McBride in behind. Woo, big shove to the back of the 70.
Out of turn 4 now. The 70, the 3, the 27 lined up. Camaro, Toyota. The outside, there's a Camaro and a Toyota working together. The inside, it's 4 Camaros lined up. Bressy out to the outside line. Oh!
McBride doors Hensley.
Wiggle there for the 44. He collects it. They continue.
That was almost a big one.
Off into turn 1 now. The 70 has the lead. The 3 of Paul Pepper sitting behind him. I don't think he's going to be there for too much longer. If he gets a run, he'll go and take it. Pushing the 70 to the front. When will he jump to the outside lane? He's backing up, maybe trying to get a run here, set up on the 70.
He's holding up this inside line. Evans meets the bumper of the 27.
93 is coming with a run on the outside lane. Does the 3 jump up? Yes, he does. There he goes to the outside spot. McQuistion blocks that move. The 3 car can't quite fit in the hole and gets sucked up the middle. Here comes Bressy to the middle groove now and brings help to the 3 car. That's an unlikely duo.
Oh, hits the nose a bit. Bressy backs off.
And the 3 car not quite clear of the 70 and gets back to the middle groove. He tried to block that 93 in turn 4, but the 93 said nope. And that's happened a bunch tonight. I don't think those two are very good friends at the moment. And now the 3 going to draft right back up to the 24. They're going to take a momentum forward, I imagine, here.
Yeah, the 93 is having none of the 3 cars' business at all. Every single time he's trying to block him off, the 93 says nope and tries to go to the outside.
And now, with help from the 24 Bressy, the 3 car of Paul Pepper back to the lead. There's Cody Tabor, who had to start at the tail end of the longest line on the restart. He's going to go a lap down here late in the going. The 3 drops to the inside lane. 3 wide, 4 wide for a moment as they lap that car. 17 to go.
It looks like that middle lane's about to die out, and yep, Bressy dives down below to DeBarro. Well, he's Rodden in the middle.
Remember, Rodden's on the lead lap now. He's no longer a lap down like he was when he was battling with these guys earlier in the night. So that 33 is going for the win, not just to stay on the lead lap.
Yeah, and he's done a pretty good job. His car is actually looking fairly strong on the late going here, and it looks like, actually, if you look further back, Greg Evans here kind of hung out by himself.
He's got drivers behind him, so he's probably okay, but I think trying to stay out of the mayhem like he's done so many times tonight. The top 6 kind of all lined up on the inside. There's 2 cars. McQuistion and Minto are working together very well in the outside groove. $16 to go now. Paul Pepper leads this race. Eckrich, DeBarro, Bressi, McQuistion, your top 5.
Oh, speaking of McQuistion, here comes McQuistion with a big run from Minto.
Dave, look at that run. About 10-mile-an-hour difference as they exit turn 2.
And what's 3 car going to do? He's actually going to stay on the inside.
I think he learned his lesson the last time that 93 is not going to lift for him. Bressi tries the middle again. He's got teammate Hensley lined up with him for the first time tonight, although that 44 has got some significant damage to the nose. Out of turn 4 now.
Bressi's trying to figure out which lane he wants to go. Looks like he's opting for the high lane.
I think whatever lane kind of negates his damage as much as possible. I don't think he can lead a lane. I think he's got to be pushing. But he's going to try to split up the inside of Minto when he gets there. He's going to latch onto the back of McQuistion now as they enter turn 1. Hensley's going to follow through. McQuistion gets shuffled, or excuse me, the Minto car gets shuffled out.
Yeah, now Bressi trying to give a run to McQuistion and try to work their way up to the front.
15 laps to go now, about 12 minutes of racing remaining. I don't know if we're done crashing just yet. Bressi looks to the outside, contact with the 93, a wiggle there from the Toyota. And now the 3 of Paul Pepper continues to lead this race. Is he going to block that 93 again, Finney? Does he make that move or does he stay on the inside?
I don't even think he's going to be able to get there. I don't think Bressi can push hard enough. Remember, he got damage on that restart with everyone bunching up. He's got some damage to the nose. I think that's why he's peeking out so much, trying to cool it off.
Now, temperature has been a big deal tonight. The 8 car of Woody Mahan blew his engine early in the going and caused the first caution of the night. So drivers have been paying attention, but now the 93 with a big run to the outside lane, but he just can't quite get alongside the 3 as they enter turn 2.
Field approaching the lap car, the 71 of Gil Brooks up the road. There comes Bressi to the outside of McQuistion.
With a big run, here comes the 24. 3 wide on the outside. He's got help from his teammate. Can he clear the 93? He does, but he's not going to be able to slide in just yet. I don't think he's going to abandon his teammate. We're going to have to go 4 wide here. He's up the middle as Gil Brooks is way slow on the outside lane.
Yeah, Bressi's starting to stall out there. I think they need a little bit more help.
Hensley blew his engine. And he has to get out of the way. Oil spilling from that car. No caution will continue. But that's what we talked about, that temperature, Finney. And he only had a little bit of damage, too. That probably makes it worse.
Yeah, that's unfortunate for Hensley. Just got back in the lead lap, was a lap down. And yeah, now his engine was blue, trying to help his teammate out. That's going to be the end for the 44's day.
That's not a great sign for the 24 either. He mentioned he liked to work by himself earlier, but now he's really got no choice. And the 89 of Jeff Ward involved in that most recent collision on the back straightaway. About to go a lap down. There he goes. John Rodden has had an up and down night, but he's back in the fight inside the top 5, coming back to 12 to go. 10 minutes left in this race. Brett McBride up here as well. We haven't seen a whole lot out of that 5 car tonight, but he's here in the mix.
2 Toyotas on the top lane, 2 Chevys on the bottom.
And dead even now. I think with that outside lane gathering strength, but now Bressi jumps ship to the inside and leaves the 46 to draft up to the 5. But Paul Pepper in commanding lead of this race, Finney. I don't think he's going to give this one up easy.
Yeah, and I think Bressi, too. I think he kind of has to be a passenger here. I don't think he can be one to make moves, but speaking of move, here comes Rodden. Big push to the 93.
Side by side for the lead, coming back to 11 to go. Minto getting back in this mix as well. He's probably a little bit peeved at the 24 for shuffling him out of line early, but sometimes you can't take these things personal. At the end of the race, you got to just go for it and not worry about what other people think. At the line, McQuistion leads that lap. So that outside lane gathering momentum, and Pepper can't block now.
Yeah, McCutcheon gets pushed back to the second row. Pepper clear of the lead.
Running on board Brandon Minto, you see that 46 car, that rear end is destroyed. You can't push that kind of bumper, Finney, and the 46 is just going to have to deal with that situation. The 33 out of line up top.
Yeah, he gets pushed out of line, but he's going to slot himself back in. McBride letting him go back in.
Smoke out of turn 4. I believe that's the 44 Pensley crawling back to pit lane. There he is, and a night over for that teammate of the 24, Bresci. But up at the top, Paul Pepper continues to hold this lead. Scott Eckrich and the 3, that's a strong combo. DeBarro in third. I don't think he's going to settle there just yet, because these guys there's no points resetting. These guys have to go get Scott in the points, and Eckrich continues to run away after winning race after race after race. That 27 cannot afford to finish behind the 70 again.
Yeah, we're starting to see that outside lane slowly die out here, and I kind of wonder if they're maybe just kind of saving their stuff here, making sure the engine doesn't get too hot for that final run.
That could be. I'm worried a little bit about the 70, Finney, and Eckrich has been right on the bumper of that 3 car for about 10 laps now, and he's leaving a bit of space, but it might not be enough to cool that engine completely.
Yeah, and I think you're right, dude, being stuck right up behind him, and he doesn't have the luxury of the outside lane being able to just kind of move out. They're pinned to the inside for the most part, so it's kind of hard to get air to that engine.
9 laps to go, 7 minutes of racing remaining. The 93 gathering some momentum again on the outside lane. I think he's going to get a big spurt down the back straight with help from John Rodden. And there is the push. The 33 gives him a big shove down the back straight. Can the 93 pull even with Paul Pepper heading into 3?
Yeah, and Eckrich also giving a shove to the 3 of Pepper, and both of them back out.
I think you're going to have to do something crazy to wrestle this one away from that 3 car. Bresci tight out of turn 4. Yeah, that was real close there. 8 to go. The countdown begins.
Go behind, you see Brandon Minto trying to work with Jonathan Goodell. To the outside they go.
I think this is where you see that third line start to form up here, Finney. We might see some people that are dissatisfied with the middle groove right now. They might jump up there. John Rodden stays middle, though. Does the 93 jump up to block? I think he's going to stay where he is.
Ooh, Evans jumps up to that high lane trying to join Cadell.
And they're actually making some pretty good time up there. I just don't think Cadell can push like that for 8 full laps. So he's got to make his use of his time very efficient. You can push, I would push on the straightaways, let off in the corners, and just get those big runs started and kind of throw everyone off, get them blocking, and then kind of get these lines all screwed. Oh no! Whoa! Wreck! The 88 hard in the wall, barrel rolling.
Greg Evans involved.
Greg Evans is wrecked with 8 laps to go, and Finian, that might be terminal. Wow. Bresci wrecked. Thomas George wrecked. Tyler Dolger. He went for a wild ride with 7 laps to go. That means we're going to be almost a green-white checkered. Let's take a look at this wreck. This started with the 24. I think he's going to drift up into the 65 of Cadell. Yep. It almost looked like something broke.
Yeah, that's what I'm kind of curious about, because he just did not turn.
That was a very strange-looking wreck. Just went straight. And a big hit for the 88. And of course, Greg Evans, nothing he could have done there. He might have some required damage. And here is a look at the 46's view of this incident. And the fuel finals, this could, oh yeah, the 24 definitely had something go wrong significantly, but the 46, that could be terminal damage with how many times and how hard he got hit. The 88 of Dolger, a wild ride, pirouetting off of the wall. Caution out, smoke at the start-finish line, 7 to go now. All right, pit road, an empty place right now, up front at least. And here comes Greg Evans, and now we find out how much damage he has. Remember, Don Runkle Jr. is 3 laps down in 17th. That 46 has to finish 16th or worse for Don Runkle to move on.
Yeah, the thing is, too, we don't know how much of it is required, so he might have to sit in here for a little bit. and get some of it fixed. But again, we don't know the extent of it.
Well, the good news for Greg Evans is that these caution laps are long, over almost 3 minutes. So even if he's got required damage, he still might be okay, but let's find out. He's got tires on the car now. Really curious to see how long he'll have to sit in this box. Don Runkle, he stayed in this race. He stayed in the fight, and he might be able to squeak on through for another week of action if this 46 gets held on pit road for enough time. I'd love to know the situation that the 46 is in, but we're pretty blind to how much damage he has.
Oh, 65 and 24 not happy with each other.
On the radio?
Yep.
I was going to say I would show it, but I can't show the radio, so... well, I can't blame Cadell, but I'm not exactly sure what happened to the 24. I thought something broke. I mean, it looked... We saw this earlier with the 15 and the 59, but I was fairly sure that the 59 didn't know that the other car was out there. I just don't think that Bresci would have made a lapse like that. Maybe, but either way, big damage to a lot of cars involved in that wreck.
Yeah, from what I'm hearing over the radio, it was just a misjudgment on Bresci's part. No hardware failure.
Interesting. That's not something... You don't see Bresci make a mistake like that a lot, but... All right, Greg Evans has been on pit road for 1 minute and 30 seconds. And he's still on the lead lap as we go. So, I mean, it's lucky that the caution came out for him, because if he can get back out and just roll around... Remember, Runkle's 3 laps down, so I don't think Runkle's going to be able to get around the 46 unless he's completely out of the race.
Well, remember, he doesn't have to necessarily finish around, because remember, and this is where a lot of things can bite him, because remember how he gave up the run coming to the line for the halfway points?
Yep. Oh, man.
He only came in 8th, only got 2. He's 2 ahead. So if he finishes right ahead of Runkle...
Oh, he's rolling.
He's rolling?
Greg Evans is rolling, and he's still on the lead lap. First of all, can I ask a question? Is that how that's even possible?
Yeah, I'm surprised he didn't have to sit there longer.
I mean, I want that damage model because that car really shouldn't be able to drive, but he got away with one.
It looks like the new modified.
It sure does, but that's no guarantee that the engine's going to hang on.
Yeah, I was going to say that's going to be the next big hurdle for Evans. Again, it doesn't mean that motor lasts too long. In fact, we are very close to the end of this race, so he just needs to make it a few more laps to the point where Runkle can't pass him. Although, let's see, I'm actually kind of curious now, what cars is Runkle going to pass? Because Dulger is still on pit road. He's actually not even in his car. Ward's in his car getting repaired, and Evans is out on the track. Okay. So Runkle's going to make up another spot here.
The other thing to keep in mind is that we're not done yet. So when we go back racing, that 46 is not going to be very drivable at all. So, you know, I would be concerned about him getting involved in another collision, but he's going to be so far behind it that at the very least, as long as that engine hangs on, the 46 is going to finish this race. So right now he's in 13th. He's not going to be fast, right? But he is the last car on the lead lap. So if Runkle can get by the 88, that'll put the difference between them only about 3 positions. This is going to be close.
Yeah, and Dulger is still not in his car.
Dulger, there's no way Dulger drives away from that. I mean, he's out for good. So that's going to move the 00 up to 16th. And right now, Greg Evans is 12th. John Wilco is probably... Oh, no, John Wilco's probably out. No, that car should be okay.
John Wilco's listed in 12th for me.
Listed in 13th on for me. So he'll probably be 12th after the restart. That car is still drivable and in much better condition than the 46. Oh, the 46 is back on pit lane.
I was going to say, actually, another thing to account for, too, is that Bresci's also got a severe amount of damage. So it's going to be between Bresci and Evans between racing. They're going to be racing each other here for a spot. So there's a spot, potentially, that Evans can get.
If Evans loses this, I'm going to go back to the halfway break or the halfway point. When remember, he dropped out. You mentioned it just a couple minutes ago. He dropped out a lap early before claiming those halfway points. That could be the difference. It's going to be awful close. I think the 46 still has the upper hand here. but it's going to be really close. We're going to have a green-white
Absolutely.
checkered here. We still have 2 laps to the green here.
Yeah, it's gonna. And actually, I think Evans is loving the fact that it's still gonna be under caution. Less strain he's got to put on that motor.
It's rolling.
But yeah, that mistake at the halfway that really made this a lot more interesting than it probably needed to be.
So we don't really know how this is going to pan out. I still think the 46 is good, but it's going to only be by a point or 2 that the 46 moves on.
He's gonna get through by the skin of his teeth.
We're not done yet. It'll be 2 laps to the end of this race. And now, all bets are off at the front of the field. The 3 car has been the most aggressive by far, but he's going to be in the most compromising position these last 5 miles. And he's going to have Eckrich, McQuistion, DeBarro, and Rodden all over him. And we saw that, you know, even if you're the leader, you're definitely not safe. And I think Paul Pepper would probably rather not be leading on this restart.
Here's the thing, too. I just realized something. You'll find this interesting. So, if they tie in points, as far as getting knocked out, I would imagine this will be the next logical step would be to go to wins. And guess who has a win and guess who doesn't have a win?
Wow, that would put Runkle into the next round.
So basically, right now, as they run, I think is the minimum gap that Evans can give up. So he needs to make sure he doesn't finish lower or closer to Runkle than they are now.
Oh, yeah, so Greg Evans has to finish 13th or better now, right? Because there's only 2 positions between him and Runkle at the moment. Evans is 13th, Runkle is 16th. So if Evans falls down a position, that would be a tie, as far as I'm concerned. As far as I know. Wow. And Evan Adams, he's a lap down, so he's going to be stuck where he is. So I think Evans is in an okay position as long as that motor hangs on for 2 laps. Wow, this has gotten a lot more interesting than it was going to be. As we get the 1 to green here, Finney, it's going to be a 2-lap shootout at Talladega. Any predictions here for the end?
I don't know.
Wow, great. You're real good at predicting things. You're so boring.
I mean, well, the 3's up in the lead, so I don't think he's. I would say he wouldn't do anything too crazy, but I mean, he's probably going to do something crazy to defend that lead. I'm kind of curious how he's going to handle Scott Eckrich because they seem to be on relatively good terms, but who isn't on good terms is that 3 and the 93. Although I should say that 3's not on good terms with almost any of the Toyotas in the field, so.
Yeah, I think there's been enemies made tonight, but let's be honest. I mean, if you win the race, it doesn't matter who your enemies are because your enemies aren't holding the trophy.
I think we might. Okay, what I think is we're going to make it around to the white flag, but I don't think we're not going to have a wreck. I think we might have a wreck on the white flag.
I agree with you there. I think we'll make it to the white. I don't think we'll make it back to the checkers without an incident. I also, as much as I want this 3 to win, I don't think. When I say I want, it's not because I'm biased. It's because I want to match my prediction. But I also think that he's probably going to get himself turned here this last couple laps here.
I would say because he's cut off that 93 quite a few times, and I imagine the 93's given him some room here in some room in those last incidents. I don't think he's going to do anything this time around.
We've come 92 laps. We've got two left when we get back to the start-finish line to get yourself atop that podium right now. It's the number 3 that hasn't sat there in quite some time. About 20 years, a little bit more than that, since that number 3 sat on top of the podium here at Talladega. Paul Pepper in that black good wrench number 3 to the inside of Scott Eckrich. That outside lane is going to be hard to beat. DeBarro and Scott Eckrich, a couple guys that have some victories this season. I think some is probably a massive understatement. I think the outside's a bit stronger than the inside, minus the 3 of Paul Pepper, but 2 laps to go. About 5.2 miles left in this event. It'll take us just under 2.5 minutes. Who gets into the next round of the Fuel Finals? Is it the 46 of Greg Evans? Is it the 00 of Don Runkle? Who wins this race? Is it anybody inside our top 5 or somebody else? Green flag back in the air. 2 laps to go at Talladega.
Ooh, Paul Pepper tries to cut off Scott Eckrich. Eckrich has got a bit of a run. He ducks it in behind the 3, however, and is going to sit there. Here comes DeBarro, though, with a big run.
DeBarro has no help. He'll have to slot in line, but here comes John Rodden with help from the 5, a Rhett McBride back in 5th. They're going to take a run to the outside lane. Not quite. The 33 went up there, but no one followed. 2 to go. Here comes the 93 McQuistion to the outside lane. Does Paul Pepper throw the block? He's tried it a couple times. It's failed a couple times. He stays on the bottom.
They're going to be side by side here, half a lap till they come to the white flag.
Side by side for the lead, coming back to the white flag. It's 93 versus 3, banging doors in turn 4. They're enemies the entire race. The 3 was throwing blocks to the 93 McQuistion. McQuistion didn't have any of it. But if he beats them back to the start-finish line, all will be forgotten. White flag in the air, 1 lap to go at Talladega.
Yeah, we are racing it back to the line no matter what happens. Here comes the 93 McQuistion on the outside, Toyotas versus Chevys.
3 Toyotas in the outside lane, 4 Camaros on the inside lane. It's the manufacturer battle in the fuel finals at Talladega. Down the back straightaway now. The outside lane, probably the place to be. And the 93 gets a big shove down the back straight. The 70 of Eckrich doesn't have the run.
And he's sticking up there. Oh, here comes Rodden. Rodden tries to go make a move. He hits the 3. Paul Pepper goes spinning.
Big crash in turn 3. Couple of our front runners taken out. The 15 slams into the wall. Where's the 46 of Evans? Does he get through this? He's way behind. 13th place, up at the front.
The 27, the 93, side by side to the line.
Back to the checkered flag. Who gets here first? 27, 93 to the checkered flag. Banging doors. Anthony DeBarro gets it at the line. And they spin to the inside lane and almost slam into the concrete by 20 thousandths of a second. And Greg Evans crosses the line. Actually, he hasn't even gotten there yet, but he's going to climb up the order as cars are wrecked in 3 and 4, and Greg Evans is going to move on to the next round of the fuel finals. And the 0-0 of Don Runkle, it was a valiant effort, Finian, but he's not going to be able to do it. A win at California a couple weeks ago, but the journey ends here.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think Evans also needed that last lap incident too, gave him a few more spots of comfort, yeah, but at this point he's definitely going to be moving on.
Anthony DeBarro wins this race by 20 thousandths of a second. Let's go back and watch the finish here. What a finish. I mean, the last couple days we've had plenty of Talladega racing. And here is the whole... We were watching the wreck in turn 3, so let's go back and watch the leaders here as the field wrecks behind them. So DeBarro's really in a great spot here. This is typical Talladega finish, Finian. Drafting up from behind and making your move coming back to the checkers. Perfectly thought out. Gets to the outside, side drafts, and then the run to the checkers. The 93 pushes him up the racetrack. Bangs doors at the last second. They come together at the line, and by a fender, he got him.
Yeah, and props to McQuistion too. He only made contact when he realized it was kind of said and done. Tried to get a clean run on him, but yeah, just couldn't get anything done. The 27 had too much momentum.
Brett McBride comes home third. And there's that finish again. What a result there, though. And here's the finish at the line. 20 thousandths of a second. That's about a length of a wheel and a fender, Finian, but it was awful close. Let's go back and look at the wreck now between the front runners coming into turn 3, which is what helps Greg Evans move on. The 3 of Paul Pepper was the one that got turned originally from what I saw. Maybe it was the 33. I think Rodden tries to shoot the middle here and comes down, collects the number 3, and the 3 spins back up, slams into Thomas George. Another slide on through. Oh, the 15 clobbered the 33. Bresci somehow got through it. Here's Cody Tabor's onboard view. Flooring it through the wreck at the finish. Eckrich involved and collected. All right, let's take a look at our race results. Of course, the 27 on top of the board, but wow. Talladega's been wild these last couple days, Finian, but unfortunately for Don Runkle Jr., the popular move isn't the one that happens. The 0-0 eliminated from the fuel finals, and he will not move on to compete for a championship the next 3 races. Wishin battles all night and finishes ahead of foe Paul Pepper, who ends up 8th. No, nothing that the 3 car did wrong there, just an innocent victim.
And you're right saying that the 3 would get involved in an incident, although it wasn't really his fault. of what happened. Just him and the 33 got together.
Nothing the three could have done, but DeBarro, McQuistion, something they could have done. They went out there and battled the line of the photo finish. DeBarro wins the race. We're going to be back in just a moment. Stay with us to hear from the drivers. We'll be right back. Welcome back live to SimTV, here now with second place finisher Travis McQuistion. Travis, that 93 car was up front all night, pushing and shoving. Bit of a rivalry there between you and the three of Paul Pepper. Lots of blocking and, throwing some crazy moves, but you come home 20 thousandths of a second behind Anthony DeBarro. I know you were probably on the chopping block in turn 4. A frustrating result for sure, but a second place, you still got to be proud of that.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Just ran competitively the whole night, and yeah, it was kind of a rough and tumble with everyone up there. It was a lot of aggressive moves, but the 93 car and basically just me for PMS was able to avoid everything, and I'll definitely take second.
A second's not bad, but when you were in turn 3 and you're watching the wrecking behind you and you see that 27 on your bumper, is there really anything you can do, or are you just kind of a sitting duck at that point?
I was just a sitting duck. I was really hoping it was 2 to go, so the yellow would have came out, but I wasn't lucky enough for that. But no, I didn't really know what I could do to keep him behind. I knew I had to at least push him high and maybe put him in the wall, but I didn't really want to do that either. But that was best.
All right, Travis. Well, a second place result, 20 thousandths of a second behind. Not a victory, but a great run for the 93. Travis, thanks for talking to us, and we'll see you later.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. See what Finian drags in next. It's going to be Don Runkle Jr. Don, you got a copy now?
Yeah, how you guys doing?
We're doing good up here, Don. And unfortunately, a couple points short of moving on to the next round of the Fuel Finals, Don. But you put in a valiant effort tonight to try to hang on and it only missed it by a couple points. Just walk us through your night and kind of recap the season as a whole, because it was an awful successful one.
It's just heartbreaking, man. I if it would have been my mistake, I would have accepted it more. But it's really heartbreaking, and I would have never been where I am tonight if it wasn't for this just awesome teammates. I have the best teammates. PMS Motorsports, those guys are so great. They've helped me out so much, and Dizzy Motorsports too. Anthony DeBarro, Nick Cohan, those guys really helped me out a lot in the season, and yeah, it just is what it is, man. It's Talladega, and you really can't control too much, and just got caught up in somebody else's mess, and just tried to stay with it and try to get as many points as I could on Greg. And I saw Greg gotten some wrecks, so I was kind of hoping I'd be able to maybe be able to sneak by him, but he ran a good season this year, so congratulations to him for moving on. And I shouldn't even be here, man. It's just the luck that I won that California race, and to even be in this championship is just it's awesome. I mean, this league has been great. I love this league. It's a great league, and yeah, it just is what it is, man. It's heartbreaking, but yeah, what can you do?
Don, I think a lot of people know the phrase, if you want to finish first, you must first finish. And at California, obviously, you won the race. But I got to say, your season after that has been just as impressive, because you stayed in this fight so much longer than I think a lot of people thought. And I think that goes to show that sometimes just staying out of trouble can get you a lot farther in the point standings. And is that something that you can maybe take on to next season and potentially do even better? Or are you going to just try to go out and get those victories like you did at California?
That's how I race, man. I know I'm not fast. I know I can't beat these guys. I know I can't beat Scott Eckridge and some of these really fast guys. I know I can't. There's no way I can beat a lot of these really super fast guys out here. So my only strategy is just to try to stay clean, race the other guys clean. I guess try to Mark Martin it. Just try to get out of the way and just last till the end. And that's what I try to do. And I just tried to do that here at these last few races, and kind of worked out for me. I just kind of bet on other guys' bad luck, and I know I'm a middle to back field guy. I know that, and I just, like I said, I'm just glad to be here, and it was just a great chance to be this far in the chase, man. I'm just happy it happened, and like I said, the only reason why I'm here is because of my teammates, man. These guys were just awesome. They kept me calm, helped me out, and even to the last lap here, we're just like, these guys were just talking to me and trying to keep me in the right mindset and everything else. And like I said, I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for those guys. Those guys are just awesome friends, awesome teammates, and I love them all.
Talladega, sometimes about fortune and sometimes about luck. Not a lot of luck for the 00 tonight, but Don, a great season, and we look forward to seeing you back here in the booth in the future. Thanks for talking to us.
Hey, man, I appreciate it, guys. Thank you. You guys do a great job up there. Thank you.
Appreciate it, Don. Have a great night. Now we're going to talk to race winner Anthony DeBarro by 20 thousandths of a second. DeBarro, you came out of turn 4. You did the classic Talladega move to the outside quarter panel, side drafted alongside the 93, came to the start-finish line. What's running through your head there on that restart and coming to that white flag?
First, I got to thank Thomas, George, and Rhett there, because they pulled up to the outside there, coming on the backstretch, and totally stalled the inside line. I know they wrecked shortly thereafter, but that's how we were able to get clear. And from there, when I saw him wrecking my mirror, and I saw there was no one in third, I knew I was going to set that up. And I think if I was saying to Travis, like, if he would have cut to the inside down the triangle instead of trying to run me up, I think he might have been able to edge me at the line.
The entire race, we had a couple cautions here and there for all sorts of incidents, but there was a lot of aggression going on for the entire part of the night. And I just want to know, from your perspective tonight, was there too much aggression? Was there the right amount of aggression? And how'd you get yourself into that position? Because there was a lot of drivers that were quick that didn't make it to the end of the race.
It's all about when to manage it. I mean, you could see guys that can't even hold their car straight, and I don't even know what the problem is there. I mean, it's not hard to hold a straight wheel. I mean, even more 3 wide, these cars are glued. It's just holding your line and not knowing when to bump, and you're not bumping left rear or certain stuff. And I basically stayed in the back of the pack, and when it got crazy, I would just back up. And I think we got that second to last caution is when I was up to 8th there. I decided, you know what, I'm going forward from here. And I mean, it's all a chess match, and whoever gets a run here, run there. And I just got lucky in the end and parked her in victory lane.
Just like I said with Don Ronco Jr., sometimes you'd rather be lucky, and at a place like Talladega, luck certainly plays a factor. But Anthony, putting yourself in position, did a great job tonight, pick up a victory. for again this season. It's been a great season for you so far, but we look forward to the next 3 weeks. Do you have anything for those front runners in the points as we head to Martinsville, Phoenix, and Homestead?
Absolutely. I'm licking my chops now. We got the rolling, and hopefully win the 3 races, and we'll be the champ.
All right, DeBarro. Well, have a great night. Thanks for talking to us, and go celebrate that victory.
Thank you, guys.
All right, Finny, that concludes the interviews tonight. Well, we saw some pretty exciting racing, and unfortunately, Don Runkle Jr. eliminated from the Fuel Finals. He made it almost to the end. Only 3 races left in the season. We had to Martinsville, we had to Phoenix, and then we had to Homestead to round everything out. And unfortunately, I wasn't going to do this, Finian, but the meme was too good. Did you see the chat here with the Don is gone?
I didn't know.
Well, hold on.
I didn't.
Let me just. Well, it's a sad day, but I think we can all laugh a little bit. I think this is Zach Buchanan's work there from the fuel area, so kind of sad, but still a good race regardless, and unfortunate for the drivers that didn't make it, but for DeBarro, a victory.
Yeah, and actually, now that I think about it, I don't think we've seen a cup race at Talladega that's not resulted in some crazy small guys banging on each other towards a finish.
It's been a great track for SimTV action, I'll say that.
Yeah, because I think the 3 cup races we had here, the 3-wide Talladega race, the Outsiders race, and this race, they've always had a crash on the last lap, and then the rest of the guys just absolutely going balls to the walls to the finish.
Absolutely. So I think that's going to do it for us tonight. And that's going to be it. Actually, you know what? Hey, let's go grab Brandon Minto real quick. Pull him in here. He finished 4th. We'll talk to the 25. And we'll see if he's around to chat. He's up in general up top. And hey, Brandon Minto, we saw he wanted to talk. A 4th place finish, buddy. We didn't even see that with all the chaos that happened, but a 4th place finish for the 25 team. A crazy night, but competitive the whole way through. A top 5 finish. What was it like out there tonight?
Oh, it was crazy out there driving. Like from lap 1, it seemed like people were just doing crazy stuff the whole time. And I wanted to chill at the back. I ended up, I think, qualifying like 7th. And I tried to jump to the outside as soon as I could, and I wanted to fall back. But every time the higher I went, somebody would just come in behind me and keep pushing me. So I ended up staying up front for a while. And then I think it was Woody Mahan ended up blowing his engine right in front of me. And then later on in the race, somebody I was right behind blew their engine in front of me. So I was just having bad luck for a while. But just trying to keep it going and just kept trying to drive and just keep my eyes straight, keep a steady line.
Talk to us about the package as well. I know the last time we raced plate racing was on the old package. This time with the new stuff and a lot bigger runs. It also changed a lot of the blocking too. So how was it? How'd you have to change your driving style to keep up with those runs tonight?
I didn't really change much. Just chilling behind everybody. Not really trying to get up front as much. But I definitely noticed the draft was a lot more crazy this year. And I think I was a 1.5 seconds behind Evan Adams, and I was able to I was still getting draft off of him, and then I caught back up and pushed him back up to the pack after that first round of green flag pit stops. And the drafting with this package is just crazy.
It absolutely was crazy, but a top 5 finish for the 25 team after a hard-fought night. Brandon, thanks for talking to us, and good luck in these last 3 rounds.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Absolutely. All right, that'll do it for interviews tonight. And before we go, I wanted to say one last thing. Don Runkle Jr. has obviously this year has been quite popular, and this whole run in the Fuel Finals has been a really cool opportunity for everyone to kind of get on board with one thing. So I think what we should do is everyone should head to www.mission22.com and donate to Mission 22's efforts in support of Don and that whole Fuel Finals run there at the end. I think that will be a cool way to honor him there and his run. But Finian, a great race again. But we're going to be gone from here until, well, I'll be back on Monday, but Finian's going to be gone for a week, so everyone can say goodbye to Finian for a little while. And I'll be back on Monday. You're going to have Brian Newton and Bobby Elder and a bunch of other guys on here on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday to take over VRL, ORL, and the 3-wide Yinzer Truck Series. We'll talk to you on Monday. Thanks for watching. Give everyone a warm welcome in the booth on Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Don't do anything that I wouldn't do. And we'll see you there. Have a great night, everybody. We'll see you.